I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who be caught up in using what I was called with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So been torn, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and norm when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya. That shit you saying now, we all know ain't make ya. Too many nights was me and my notebook, no hook, no look, just me and my devils, but they so shook. Whatever it took, fuck the battle, ready for war. I ain't die, I evolve, living through these memoirs, regardless of the cost. And the gas made it this far with bars that'll last forever, like the wreck yard.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
I see dead people connect with my sixth sense. Heed no evil, get bread with my six friends. He's no diva, flexing the sick bends. Plex is a teacher, investing in big trends. Scared like a bear, disrupting the bull market. Double down shares, portfolio parking. Dow Jones average, big bank tank sharking. Elevated rank while face stays sparking. Dan John's pace, my grace will sharpen. In the biz since kids, Rosario Dawson. He got game, but he's not Jesus. Connected through the pain, data's rocking through your speakers. My daughter's like a mama, but she got my features. We teach her to be strong, never gonna need you. Like Ruth Long, she was born a leader. Underestimating the greats is the wrong procedure.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
I'm alone, but I ain't lonely. Least I got my homies. Peace is what they show me till I meet my one and only. Nothing you can loan me, no way for you to own me. Baritone in my tone, leave sopranos to Tony. My ad-lib game can compete with those on the spectrum. I ain't gon' diss them, but definitely don't respect them. Equivalent of holding the mic till you wreck them at the crossroads with the devil at a dark intersection. Question, is the sin eaten from the tree or neglecting to realize that he is me? Can't have me on lockdown when I'm as free. Stammer through the grammar so blind can see. I ain't trying to be, cause I'm built from the cosmos. And if need be, I raise up like P.D. Pablo. Climbing from the underground cause the dirt's off. Cage bird on my chest when I take my shirt off.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome to the Knicks at Night podcast. I'm your man, Uncle Freezy. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm joined by Cornerstone Kev. Cornerstone Kev, how you doing today?
Hey, my brother, how you doing, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm super good, man. I'm super good.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I missed all my peoples today, so I had to make sure that I at least get in one tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So I want to say salute to the chat, man. Let me shout out this chat. Yeah. Hey, 19 kind of NYC 84 was good. The new Knicks was happening. Wilson Dang, Felipe Tuchen Cully was good. Chris Chain is in the building. Robert Paul was good. Was good. Captain and Coke 70. I see you. I see you. What's up, Chris? I see y'all. I see y'all. You know, Big Oso is in the building. City for real was good. City for real. I hope you jump in today, man. I enjoyed you last night. So
that's my man. City for real. City for real.
Man. Hey, Kev, what's on your mind, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing, man. I was called out. I'll get to that in a minute. But yesterday, we laid my uncle to rest and everything. So,
man, I hate to hear that, man.
Yeah.
My condolences, man.
Thanks, man. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, we had to lay in the rest yesterday, and when I wore, and we still under that COVID stuff, so we all have masks going in. I wore my Knicks mask because he was a big Knicks fan. He was a Knicks fan, and he was a St. Louis Cardinals fan as well. So yeah, but I wore my Knicks in there and got a few laughs and everything. But it was all good. I said, hey, this is what he is. He is, he was a New York Knicks. So yeah, man. So that's what was happening yesterday. And then today I just had a lot of, running around to do. So I said, you know what? I got to make sure that I hit my man Freeze up tonight and everything. And I'm going to hit you tomorrow too. But yeah. But I was also called out by Ron's podcast because G-Men, I forget his name, G-Men's something. He called me out. He was like, Kevin don't want this, Cornerstone don't want to smoke. So I was like, all right. I had some technical difficulties, as I said, so I couldn't get on there and everything. So that's the reason why I said I had to make sure I get on tonight, man. But I'm here to let the Frank Hive know. Let everybody know the Frank Hive is still alive because he's still there.
Still here. Still here. He a survivor.
Absolutely. Hey, I just want to say to the chat, thanks so much for your condolences, man. I really, really appreciate it, man. We all family here, and y'all are my brothers. So I thank y'all so much for all y'all, support and everything. So that's about it. So go ahead, brother.
Yeah, man. I noticed that it's a lot of calling out on my man Joint, and I don't think that's the vibe that Ron be wanting to put forth, man. So I wasn't paying any attention.
No. G-Man was cool. He was just playing around and everything. So I was like, I was trying to bust up with some, from Parliament Funkadelic talking about Star Child's back in the building and everything on the mothership and everything.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
right.
But other than that, but yeah, that was about it. There was no malice or anything like that. I love Ron's show, man. It all started with you, man. You just branched it off, man. It all started with you.
Hey, well, we trying, boss. We trying. Man. So this morning was good. We didn't have any news to break on the Knicks front. We were mad excited about what was going on with the Washington Wizards victory. So we'll have another hopefully we'll have another victory tomorrow night, Thursday night. We'll see.
Yeah, you know what about that victory yesterday? That lopsided victory was again a indication that this is a different team. This is a totally, totally different team where we take pride in everything, and we may lose by 2 or 3 points or something like that. But if there's a team that we're supposed to beat, we don't have to. Years ago, we had to worry about if they're going, how they're going to lose or how we going to, try to win this game and everything. And it'll be just like the Washington, when we have to play a team like the Washington Wizards, who had our number for a couple of years. Now, that's all changed. All changed. This was a team that we were supposed to be, and we beat them handily.
Right.
So that's what I look at, man. So now when you see these tougher teams, these upper, echelon teams, they got to know that we're no pushover.
Right.
We're no pushover.
Definitely not. Eddie C, what's good, man?
What's going on?
What's up, Eddie C? How you feeling, man?
How you doing, man? I just want to give you again my condolences to your uncle.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it, man. I definitely appreciate it, man.
So it's all saying goodbye to loved ones and
it was this COVID, man. It was this COVID. This COVID is, tell everybody, just take care of yourself, man. Take care of yourself. Follow those safety precautions, protocols, and everything, because this thing is no joke at all. You see what happened with Derrick Rose, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's gonna take him a while to get rid of that and all like that. But yeah, man, Eddie, see, I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much. All right.
Yeah, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So what's up to the chat? What's up to Freezy? What's up to you, Kev? I also want to say that the win against the Wizards, I think, was also in part due to us playing Philadelphia 2 games in a row. That hard defense that Philadelphia plays, kind of primed us to playing like one of the worst defenses in the league. So when you go from one extreme to the next, it kind of makes everybody else look good, and everything is a little bit more free flowing. So I think that just has something to do, because when you play against these better teams and you go up against other teams that are not as good, you always play a little bit better, a little bit more freely, and have more open space to get shots off.
You hit it right on the head, Eddie. It's amazing because a David Fizdale team, a Jeff Hornacek team, a Derek Fisher team, those teams would have lost to a Washington Wizards team like this and everything. And
and look bad doing it too, and
look bad doing it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I just want since we've like demolished the Wizards and everything with a Bradley Beal, now the one thing that's on my radar is beating Simmons and Embiid. I hope we get one more game with these guys, man, because I gotta believe that we gotta win one of these. I mean, we're 15 and they're 15-0 against us, so we got to get one of these. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if we can beat
Simmons, if we don't get it in the regular season, hope we get it in the playoffs.
Oh God, could you imagine?
You know what I mean? Yeah, and they've never been. I think in any of the games that we played them, they've never been at full strength.
Right.
And
right.
It kind of like leads me to believe that. I mean, I for one, I believe the Drummond rumors. For that simple reason that we're going to need big bodies to go up against Joel and whoever else we're going to play against, even if we're just using him to keep him away from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of strategies in play for why I think the Knicks would be interested. There's a lot of people that don't like the guy. I'm not a big fan, but I can understand why the Knicks would want to bring him in the fold. Not as much to take Mitch's place or any detriment to Mitch, just to compliment him.
Well, here's the thing. There's got to be a way to keep all three of them, him, Mitch, and Lawrence. You could find a way to utilize all three of them. If you're playing again, playing all these games, but then more importantly, to play against Philly, because they only have Embiid and they have Dwight Howard. We have 3 primary centers that can handle what they throw out. Absolutely.
Take fouls. I also think that there's ways that Thibodeau can use Drummond and Mitch in the same lineup.
Right.
I think there's ways that we can use Taj as the backup 4.
Oh, absolutely.
And putting Obi on the bench when it comes playoff time.
Absolutely.
So I see a lot of ways that we can go, and I think it's a good thing.
Right. Exactly.
We just got to see what happens if.
Well, we got till 3:30 tomorrow morning. 3:30 tomorrow afternoon.
I actually think that it's a good thing that nobody's made moves. I don't think today anybody's made a move, but I think it's a good thing if we wait to the last moment, because that means that people are looking for better deals.
Right.
You understand? So they want to keep on waiting for the last moment, because I don't think the Knicks are giving up much. So waiting for the last moment might be a good thing for us, being that if nobody steps up, that we might be able to get these players or whatever we're thinking about doing on a good deal per se. And I just think that's RMO, never giving up too much and, getting things on the cheap and just waiting for the last moment. I think it's a Leon Rose way.
So let me ask you this, and you too, Uncle Freeze. If we don't trade for Drummond and he gets the buyout, how much would you sign him for this for right now, and then for next year, if we keep him for next year, what would y'all sign him for?
I don't know if the CBA allows a bidding war in a buyout situation where a player takes a large chunk of his existing salary. So I'm not for sure how it works. I just know for a fact that we're not going to be as appealing as the playoff contenders like Brooklyn and the Lakers, who can offer him a chance at a ring.
Yeah, I think if he goes to the buyout route, all bets are off.
Okay. So in logistics, it would be wise to just, if we want him, we should, trade for him. What kind of package would you throw at Cleveland?
I wouldn't give up anything more than a second-round pick.
Okay.
Just 1 second-round pick. That's it. Maybe an Austin Rivers, something,
right.
something along those lines, and that's why I'm thinking that they're just waiting to see if somebody steps up.
Right, because you can do that, and then Austin Rivers can be bought out by Cleveland, right? Because I'm sure that Because I'm sure that Rivers doesn't fit what Cleveland's trying to do.
Yeah, most likely Rivers is gonna. He's gonna sign with a contender.
Right.
He's gonna get bought out wherever he goes. If he doesn't get traded, he's gonna get bought up by us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's legitimately a buyout candidate.
Yeah, exactly. So, what else? Yeah, man, that's pretty much it. So I'm hearing those rumors, and definitely the Lonzo rumors are like freaking hotcakes, man.
Yeah, I've always been in. I don't like. I wouldn't. I'm not a big Lonzo fan. Like, I like the kid personally. I like the kid. I like the way he is, but I just don't like having to, for one, pay double, having to trade for him, then sign him to a big contract if we go that route, and for two, having to have a bidding war maybe with somebody else for his rights.
Well, he's restricted, right?
Yeah, he's restricted, but if somebody else, let's say Chicago, wants to give him a sizable contract, then we have to either match. I just would try to stay away for something like that. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm stingy.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a stingy guy with the money,
Yeah.
But everybody seems to, because it's not their money, so everybody's like, oh yeah, we'll give him 18 mil. It's not your money.
Yeah.
It's different when you're a capologist or when you're the owner of a team and you have to shell out these millions of dollars, and everybody, I'll give him a $20 million for a year, and it's not like that, man. It's not like that.
Right.
So you're giving somebody 18, 19 million, and in all honesty, he's only worth about 14, 15.
Okay. Yeah.
That's just my opinion on Lonzo.
Yeah. What about you, Freeze? Oh, he's not saying a word. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So, who would you like to see? All right, let me put it another way. If the Knicks stay packed, don't do anything after before 3:30. Hey, what's up, City for real? How you feeling, man?
Kev. Hey, I'm sorry about that, Kev. I was doing some admin work. I was trying to get City in when you asked me that.
No worries. Yeah. Okay, so Eddie was talking about he would Eddie, you said you would stay away from Lonzo of trading for him, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I would stay away from trading for him, and if I can get him on I wouldn't say necessarily a team friendly deal, but it's something that I'm okay with doing, then I would sign him.
Right. I know he's asking for 20 mil. I know he's asking for 20 mil.
He deserved 20 mil. Who? Eddie C is a Eddie C is a couponer. You know what a couponer is? You know how people clip the coupons?
Yes,
Bargain.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir. I am a
Yeah.
couponer.
Yeah. So the thing is though, you pay Kevin Knox, Reggie Bullock, and Alec Burks $20 million, right? Right now, that's what you pay them. And you're telling me that Lonzo Ball is not equal to or has more value than those three players? I don't know if I agree.
I mean, there's a lot of people that don't agree. It's just, I have a gut feeling that it's not in our best interest to do that. I have a gut feeling that it's not in our best interest to do that. And there's many ways that we can not solidify the role, not solidify the position, but at least maintain the position without giving up the flexibility and not making Lonzo one of our key signees.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To add on to that couponer reference, you know, I heard.
Hey,
I heard that,
but how long have you been? How long has the Knicks franchise been looking for a franchise point guard?
but we've whiffed on too many. We've whiffed on too many that has been better players. Like when we had a chance to get Kyle Lowry about 5, 6, 7 years ago, we would have had Kyle Lowry for about 5, 6, 7 years now, and we didn't get it done. So I mean, management is different. Like I seem to have a lot more faith in this management, kind of like when I had.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
When we had Donnie Nelson, or is it Donnie Nelson? I believe his name was.
No,
yeah, John Nelson.
No, Donnie Walsh. Donnie Walsh.
Yes, Donnie Walsh.
Oh yeah.
Donnie Walsh.
Yeah.
I feel the same about this organization, about this regime, than I did about Donnie Walsh. Only thing is that I hope that Dolan learned the mistake that he made in that situation.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
And won't meddle in this one.
No, I'm sure he did. I think the only time that Dolan has really put his foot out there was to hire and fire Phil Jackson and Steve Mills. Anything else basketball operations related on a president standpoint, he's left all that alone. He hasn't overstepped anything. So
yeah, I'm hoping he stays away from.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he will, because if you remember back in 2013 when he hired Phil, he said he was staying out of the way, and for the most part he has. The only time that, like I said, he stepped in was just to get rid of Phil and get rid of Mills. At least resign him.
I just want to say one point to that. When Phil Jackson was here, I'm not making any excuses for Phil. Like he did a lot of things wrong, but there were like some moments where he kind of, like, to me, looking back now, it was like he was like a genius. Because I mean, first of all, he drafted Porzingis.
Right.
Okay. Then after he drafted him and he saw him for a year or two, he was willing to trade him.
Right.
And he was willing to trade. There was a lot of buzz about Devin Booker. There was a lot of buzz about other trades that could have been done.
Yeah.
And everybody frowned upon him. Everybody threw him under the bus. I mean, he drafted Ntilikina. Ntilikina is still here. Like, there's been 3 different regimes, and they haven't traded the guy away.
Nope.
You know what I mean? So I think there's a reason why. It's hard to get these defensive players, man. It's not easy to get these defensive players.
And the other thing is, Phil was able to not trade away our draft picks as well, and he
accumulated them. Yeah,
he accumulated them. Yeah, he accumulated them and everything. Now, the way he spent the money, that can be in question. Like with
right. Like I said, he did a lot of things wrong.
Right.
Joakim Noah.
Yeah, Joakim Noah. Chris. David Lee. Not David Lee. But what's his name? Last name Lee.
Courtney Lee.
Yeah, Courtney Lee. And Jenkins. And everything. So yeah, I agree with you totally, Eddie, on that. Totally.
So I mean, if back in the day, if we would have been able to trade for Devin Booker, we would be cheesing right now.
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing how that draft, the one superstar out of that was Devin Booker?
Well, it was because he was coming off the bench, I think, mostly.
Yeah. But
a lot of people had they had a bad taste in their mouth from Marvin Williams.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like Patrick, this year's pick, Patrick, but it seemed like it reverted now. This year, Patrick Williams is coming off the bench, and he was picked. I think it was 4 to Chicago. And I believe Scotty Barnes. I'm super high on Scotty Barnes, and he's also coming off the bench for Florida State.
Yeah,
and he might be a top 5 pick too.
Yeah, who was the other guy that I don't even know if he's still in the league or not, but that was playing for he got drafted by Miami. He was playing for Duke, and he was drafted by Miami, and he was supposed to be this quote unquote
Justin Winslow.
Yes. Is he still in the league?
Justice Winslow.
Yeah. Is he still in the league?
Yeah, he's playing in Memphis right now.
Oh, he's playing in Memphis. Okay. All right.
Kind of fits that.
I remember a lot of people saying that we should have took him.
Right. Him and
there was a lot of talk that we should have took him. And
there's actually another player this year that's coming out that's also power forward / small forward from Duke.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Spree, how you doing, man?
What's going on, bro? What's going on?
What's going on?
What's up, man?
I can't call it. We sweat. I'm sweating out until 3:30 to see if Frank's gonna be traded somewhere.
Yo, wait a minute. Yo, hold on. Yo, Kev, you came on tonight to hang with us to see if your boy get traded. Well, all right. We with you, man. We rocking with you. We rocking with you, bro.
I hear you. Now, I had some things to take care of, so usually I'm on like 2 podcasts today, and it didn't happen. So I made sure that I was on here tonight and everything. So, but yeah, that was about it, man. That was about it. If he's traded, go ahead.
It'd be funny. Before we was like, wow. Ntilikina is a big point guard. He's 6'4", 6'5".
Mm-hmm.
And right now, if Ntilikina would be 6'7", he'd be like the perfect 3-and-D guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody would be clamoring for a guy like Frank right now if he would be able to play a small forward, which I think he can.
Yeah.
I like when power forwards try to back him down and they can't. It's kind of like highlight of the game when that sort of stuff happens.
Right. Well, it's amazing. The game against I don't know if it was who do we play before Philly? The second time we played Philly. Orlando, yeah. The way he was sticking like 3 guys at the same time, that sequence towards the end, that was totally amazing.
That's his chick.
That's his like too. Yeah, absolutely. So, hey man, if he stays with us, that just says that the organization sees something in him and everything. And I did hear Tibbs say that he could be a cog for us, for our team and everything. So
I heard that too.
You heard that, right, Spring? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I hope he is still here and everything.
I said a long time ago, without the dirtiness, he could be our Bruce Bowen.
Yes.
I said that a long time ago.
Our Bruce Bowen / Tony Allen all rolled up into to one. Yeah, Tony Allen and everything. Because remember, Tony Allen was good on D as well. Everything. Yeah. So well, yeah, that's pretty much it. Man.
And Tom just looks calm.
Yeah.
Looking at like if you see when Frank's on the floor and Tom Thibodeau's on the sideline, whatever he does, he just looks. Tom Thibodeau just has like a calm demeanor towards him. Is like, I know he's gonna do the right thing.
Absolutely.
That's worth a lot to a coach. You don't want somebody that like you put Obi out there and he's always like Obi, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even if Frank messes up, it's like okay, I know his intentions was good. You know what I mean? And that's worth a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let me ask the panel this: if we don't make any moves before 3:30 tomorrow, do you are you going to be mad at management, or are you going to be like, okay,
Yes.
you know,
Yes. I'll be
okay,
hot.
you'll be hot. Okay, what do you want? What move would you like to, for them to make, Uncle Freeze? Oh, now he's quiet. Okay.
No, I'm thinking, Cab. I'm thinking, Cab.
Okay. Because for me,
I'm 50-50 on it.
You're 50-50 on it. Yeah.
I'm 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we make a move, we make a move. If we don't and we stay content and we make power moves in the off season,
yes,
I'm okay with that. Like,
yes,
you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
If we got this new regime in and we're trying to trust them and, you know, put our faith in them, then, like, you know what I'm saying? If they don't make a move, maybe it was because what we was shopping out, nobody wanted. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to look at it both sides of the coin. We got to say, all right, the people that we got, do these people actually want these guys for the guy that we want? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
go ahead, Spree. Yeah, Spree.
Yeah,
please.
I just want to say I agree with what City just said. I'm kind of like I'm trusting what they do. Like I'm either way, and I know that's not the right answer. I have to have a hot take that I want this guy, but honestly, like I'm cool if we roll with what we got. If they believe that this is what it is, look, that's cool, because we don't know what is being discussed, what assets we would have to give up. I don't know that. Nobody knows. Now, if I really had an opportunity to get one thing, to me, I wouldn't mind getting some insurance at that guard wing spot, because Bullock, look, he's been healthy, but he gets nicked up here and there. Burks has gotten hurt at times, and we need more. We all agree that we could use another wing on this team. To me, I think that's the most important need. Would Drummond help us? Yes, but now that Mitch is back, that to me is not as big a need as the wing, because I think we can make it through with Mitch and Noel.
Right. Now, do you think
y'all bugging, B? Y'all bugging. What are we talking about? Y'all bugging. What are we talking about here? Y'all bugging. On one hand, yes, and I disagree based on what y'all said. Because on the one hand, we complain about Julius Randle's minutes, right?
Right.
We complain about Julius Randle's minutes, and then on the other hand, we're like, no, let's keep it the same. We can't do both. You know what I'm saying? The immediate need is get somebody to take the load off of Julius Randle. That's the immediate need. I don't care what position it is. Somebody needs to take the load off of Julius Randle, because the other night he played 41 minutes in an overtime game. And the reason why the shot didn't go down against the Sixers is because my man was tired. He was exhausted.
Right. And I feel you on that. Yeah, I feel.
But he kind of overshot that ball. It was it like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, so I would say if he was, now let's just say this, right? If he was tired, would he would have shot an air ball? But his shot, it hit off the backboard. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like
no, that shot rimmed out. The one I'm talking about rimmed out. The game winner that didn't go in. The game winner that didn't go in against the Sixers, it rimmed in and out.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's the thing where if Randle would have played, say, 33 minutes instead of 41 minutes, right? If you had a quality veteran guy that was a bona fide scorer, defender at whatever position, somebody to take the load off Julius Randle, right? And RJ Barrett, because RJ is outperforming, and his progress is pointing, skyrocketing up with a bullet, right? But RJ's not ready to be the number 2 guy. He's the number 3 guy, forced into the number 2 guy role. If you go out and get you a guy, a veteran, I don't care the position, I don't care if it's point guard, small forward, power forward, whatever. Somebody to take the load of. Ideally, it would be a guy like a Robert Covington, right? Somebody that can sub
Is he available?
Some Julius. I'm not for sure, man.
I'm not sure for
but
sure
but
either.
but, but I'm talking about that.
I
I'm
don't
talking
think
about
he's
that type.
available.
I'm talking about that type of player, though. An elite defender, an elite wing defender, where Julius Randle doesn't have to defend the Sabonis or the Bradley Beals. You get a Robert Covington that can defend both, right? Somebody in that type player, somebody that can get their Otto Porter Jr. When he's healthy, he's that ideal type player, right? I say if the front. Yeah, if the front office doesn't get Julius Randle some help when they've seen him be exhausted and gassed at the end of games, and they sit on their hands and not do anything, it's a disservice to the entire fan base because they only had one job. Their job was to improve the roster when improvements were there to be made, and then if they don't do it, that just lets you know that they're not as competent as what we think because the deadline. The deadline is a date set months in advance. We can't look at the trade deadline and say, well, at the deadline, there wasn't anybody available. There were people available months and months before we got to the deadline, and they chose to wait to the last minute to get somebody and then couldn't. That's an indictment on who they are and not an indictment on who was available on the open market.
Yeah, but
what do you guys think of Norman Powell?
Oh, I take him. I'll take him in a heartbeat. But here's the thing, Uncle Freeze. You say it's an indictment to management, but you have to admit management has done more by keeping quiet this year than the other regimes that we've had. Would you say that? I think this regime is 10 times better than what the past regimes have been.
I'm up in the air with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I said the other night, yo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when we were on here the other night, we was talking about something like that. And Freezy had said something, and can't remember. But anyway, I was just like, yo, you know what? Yo, like, I understand what he's talking about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I want to know what's going on because I get it. Okay, y'all got to, keep certain things under wraps because you don't want this team to try to figure out what you're doing and all of this and all of that. But at the same time, yo, we the crew, we the fans. We are the family. We are here every day talking about the Knicks.
Yeah.
At least,
so I'll say this. I will never
at least give us the breadcrumbs.
I'll never be more surprised than I was when we traded Porzingis. So regardless of what happens tomorrow, if we trade Obi, which is not going to happen, but if we did, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. The one thing I will say.
That was a joke, by the way, Cornerstone.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing I will say is that I think I think management is listening, and I do think they don't want to rush into anything because when we do, we also have to think of the notion the player that we get. Are they going to be a free agent at the end? Well, they'll probably be a free agent at the end of the season. And are we going to, the money that we have, are we going to commit to that player? Is that player going to help us out to get closer to a championship? Mm-hmm. Or is it just helping us out just for this playoff run? And,
that's right. That's the way we have to think about it. It can't just be. You have to factor all that in. The contract, is this a person that's going to be here long term, or is it just a short term? And I don't know. Like, I don't know what the actual it's going to take to get one of these guys that we've all been talking about over the past few months. I don't know the cost. I mean, like I heard yesterday that Norman Powell, there's been like 10 teams that are interested.
Right. He's very good.
I personally would not try to deal with Masai Ujiri. That guy is as smart as they come.
Oh, please, he fleeced us.
I'll just try to stay away from those types of guys. And
he fleeced us out of when we got Carmelo. He fleeced us big time.
Yeah, talk with those Cleveland guys, those Detroit guys. Those guys are a little bit
absolutely
easier to deal with.
And this is what when we're talking about getting a wing or something like that. this is what's maddening with some of the players that we have. I'm going to give Obi, I'm going to give him a break a little bit because number one, he didn't have a March Madness. Number two, he didn't have summer camp, and they would practice a week before the summer camp as well. Number three, we didn't have an expanded training camp, and I know people are going to say, well, what about, quickly? Not every player's, develop at the same time that, with the same success. It just so happened that quickly, I mean, I still think he has a lot of work to do if he's expected to be that all around, player. But he was producing, shot wise. But with Obi, I just think it's going to take more time. And then he got hurt as well. So already you have like three to four problems that he's already facing, right now. So that's why I'm gonna give him a break, a little bit. The one that I'm gonna really hammer on, and I was hoping Hoodie Kev will be on here, is Knox. Knox is the one that was supposed to. Yeah, Knox was the one that was supposed to be ready. He's been here 3 years, and now can't get any time at all.
I don't think it'll be that much surprising to see Knox get some burn pretty soon.
Yeah, he's going to have to.
For what it's worth, when I see him on the floor, it looks like his defense got better. He's always had the jump shot. So, I mean, why not give him a chance? Because Obi's really not doing anything for us.
Right, exactly.
I like the guy a lot. I'm willing to give him time.
And I think he's overwhelmed. Yep, I think he's overwhelmed.
Did you hear what Tip said? And did you hear what Tip said
yes,
yesterday
I did.
when he was
I did. Yeah, I did. I did. I forget everything that he said because, believe it or not, I just heard it again, Spree, just a few moments ago before I came on here. But I heard too.
It's different with Knox and Obi, right? Because
yes,
we talking about a guy that's only played 30 something. No, he's only played 20 something games. Obi in the NBA. Knox has played how many? So should we see a bigger, like, how do you say it? Should we see a bigger rise, like a bigger output, a bigger expand from Knox,
right?
Versus what we see with Obi. Although they said Obi was the guy that was supposed to be NBA ready, but at the same time, you gotta expect those things that come when you step into the NBA. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the scouts can say, yeah, this guy is NBA ready, but until you get to the NBA and prove yourself, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And sometimes it takes certain guys a little bit of time to figure it out, how to maneuver and move it and figure out how to get their jump in the NBA versus like, you know what I'm saying? Versus just coming in. Certain guys, when they come in, they automatically got it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then you got people that it take them a couple of years. Is Obi going to be that project that'll take them a couple of years? Possibly. Did we say the same thing about Knox? Hey, they said what did that one dude say? Didn't he say his coach? His coach said it was going to take time. Give him like 2 or 3 years, and like you know what I'm saying, and we'll see. So now we hitting that barometer, that 2 or 3 year, like, you know what I'm saying.
You're absolutely right.
I think the big thing with Obi. Sorry to interrupt you, Kevin. I just think just to add with the Obi thing, the reason what he has going for him is he's in great shape. He's incredibly athletic. He has all the intangible stuff as a basketball player you want.
Yeah, right.
It's now, like City said, figuring out the NBA game. So I really think it's not fair, like you said, Kevin, to judge him until he gets a full training camp off season. He's like, this whole season isn't, like City said, it just depends. Like, quickly got it. He has it already. But you see Toppin throughout this season. It's not like there's been signs like throughout the season, moments here or there where you see Toppin and you see that he can get there.
Yes.
But there's also times where he's lost. So it's like it's been a mixed bag. with Knox, I didn't even see signs. Like I still see signs that sometimes in games with Toppin where I feel like he's going to be fine. It's just a matter of he doesn't know his spots. He's getting spot minutes here or there. He needs a point guard. He needs to be featured more. Yes, I could be wrong, but I think he's still a part of this thing.
Right. And the thing about
he needs more rhythm.
Right.
And there's another thing that I'd like to add too, that I don't know, for some reason I feel like he's a 5.
You feel like he's a 5?
Yeah, like he's not.
Lineup?
Yeah, I think he's a 5. You know, he's just not good defensively, but in that Phoenix Suns type system, I think that's where you see him flourish, where he has free reign to do whatever he wants in the middle, and just 4 shooters around him. You're gonna give up a lot on defense, but I would like to see him play more of the 5 off the bench. Thing is that Tibbs, and I don't blame Tibbs either for doing this, but he's set in his ways, and I think it's just having Nerlens Noel back there is just a better option. Having Nerlens Noel back there, even Taj Gibson, they're just better options right now. But
absolutely.
Well, the vets gotta show these young guys the way to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, like, people give Tibbs the double standard. They say he doesn't like to play the young guys, but our whole team basically pretty much is full of young guys. People have been getting burned. Like, you know what I'm saying? They haven't been, let's just say he hasn't been just playing them the whole full games and stuff like that, because obviously you know what would happen if that happened. If we played just straight the young guys, I could guarantee you we would not be talking about playoffs right now. We would not be talking about that week 500. Right. We would be talking about
trade. There's a trade that just went down.
There is.
Okay. It's not regarding us, but the Pistons are trading DeLon Wright to Sacramento. For guards, Corey Joseph, and 2 second-round picks.
Yeah, see,
so that looks like a money deal.
They can have that.
Yeah, they can have that. Absolutely.
Point guard and stuff.
And when we talk about our vets, the one thing that we try to understand is just the leadership. And last night, with towards the end of the game, you saw Randle going over to Obi to talk to him and everything. So that's leadership right there. I know it's got to be frustrating, for this kid, because I'm sure this kid thought that, he was going to have a really nice rookie season, and it hasn't, worked out for him. But the thing about it also with that that swing player that you're talking about, Spree, that was supposed to be Kevin Knox's position all, around, whether if he was starting or coming off the bench. That was supposed to be, his position. And I just don't think that he's taking advantage of it. I really don't. And you see now how coach isn't even playing him.
I agree. I mean, I think I'll just say this about Bullock too, and he's been inconsistent for most of the year, but the past few weeks, I've said this, I think he's played better, like all around. Like he's making more shots. Yeah. I mean, he's always had the defense, but like I want to say recently, he's made a more percentage of his open looks. He doesn't have that off the dribble game that's going to blow by people that we're missing. That second element. As far as making open shots, I want to give him credit. I think he's played better. But
I think maybe the management might have talked to him and probably said, "Hey, you're going to stay here for a while. You're not going anywhere, man."
Yo, hold on.
I think so.
Can I do something real quick? I asked a chat question. They want me to do it, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give y'all my Freezy impersonation. Yo, what's good? I see y'all. Simmer, I see you. What's good? Chris Chang. Yo.
You sound just like him. Just like him.
Let's go get those lights up, family. Y'all know what it is. Let's go.
You can stop it.
I see you, Eddie C. Shout out. I do. Yo, what's good? Get those lights up, people. We in the building. Knicks at Night podcast. Y'all know how we do it, man. Shout out to Uncle Freezy for having me here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody watching. Shout out to the chat. let's get it up, man. Let's go.
Yeah,
We are the Knicks at Night podcast.
Absolutely.
Get it up.
Absolutely. We have 85 people watching. We only have 44 that like. So hit the like button. Hit the like button, guys. Let's hit that like button.
I just want to. Can I say one thing about Tibbs really quick?
Yeah.
That's been on my mind.
Absolutely.
People were killing Tibbs last game for keeping Randle in. I get it. We're up by that much. Why is he in the game? I'll just say this: he's trying to send a message to this team. He even said it in the post game.
Yeah.
We have to be a better 48-minute finish team with the ability for opposing teams to hit threes and come back. This guy's trying to win. He doesn't care.
That's
right.
I
understand the big picture and I get it totally. Is Randle gonna wear down? I get the whole thing. It's fair, completely fair. I'm the same way. I'm like, why is he still in the game? But I also Tibbs he does not care. He's going to play his guys. It does not matter. If he doesn't have trust in you that you're not going to finish the game and you're going to slip, he's bringing those dudes back in, whether you like it or not.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the one thing that I think Knicks fans have got to accept, that Tibbs is just that coach who, who's going to work his players, who's going to demand the respect and everything, and we have to, as Knicks fans, adjust to that.
Yeah, I said this the other day too, Kev. I said this the other day, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like this, right? If we want to win games, we got to have our best players on the floor. You know what I'm saying? And we can't complain when we have our best players on the floor, because our best players are winning us these games. You know what I'm saying? It's not it's not like the guys are coming off of the bench, and when we got the bench and they're just straight blowing people out to where the starters could always sit, because we not built like that. You know what I'm saying? That's not the makeup of our team. Our team, yes. Do we depend on our bench? Because I feel like I've always said this. I feel like we go as our bench goes. You know what I'm saying? When our bench plays well and is able to stay in the game and keep us in games, then guess what? Most of the times we get a W. But you know what I'm saying? At the same time, we can't say, so that last. Right, we was blowing them out. They started a little bit, just like a little bit, and Tibbs put back in Julius, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He got other people back in the game, but why was that?
Yeah,
that was because the league was slipping.
Yeah, you don't want to give a team
and we've seen teams, and I said this the other night. We've seen teams come back in the NBA. We've seen teams come back from 20-point deficits, 30-point deficits, and you know what I'm saying? Right before they get to that, you know what I'm saying? They get to that 8-point mark where they get that lead down to 8. Every coach does it. They say, yo, you know what? Hey, you guys got to get in the game. They bring the starters back in the game. It's not like Tibbs is the only person doing it.
That's what you call being. That's what you call being professional. Go ahead, Spray.
No, I agree with everything you said. With the 3-point ball in today's game, a 15-point lead is just not as insurmountable as you think. In the blink of an eye, that 15-point lead's a 7-point game, and you call a timeout, you're back in the game.
Especially, if you look at a team like Philadelphia or even Brooklyn, if they have a 15-point lead, that's an eternity for them. We're not them. We have to keep going. We have to keep going. So
I was just, that heat check that Randle had. I think I've watched the replay of that 3 maybe 50 times today because it made me so happy. Just watching him stroke that. Man, he's in such a good rhythm. It's just beautiful to watch a guy shoot that well. It just shows how much he worked on it. I just respect it so much. I feel like it's always going in. And when it doesn't go in, it makes me sad. I want him to shoot it again. But I was happy he took that check. He deserved it.
Absolutely.
He took those 3. When he hit those 3 threes, I said it the other night. I said, yo, he was like the Julius Randle of the NBA Jam on Fire edition. You know what I'm saying? He hit that first one, I was like, oh, okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? He hit the second one. I was like, oh, he's heating up. He hit that third one. I was like, oh, he's on fire. Like, you know, I was waiting to see the trail of the fire going, like, you know what I'm saying? Because you know how sometimes when you're on fire in NBA Jam and you see the fire going, and he missed it. And I said the same thing. I'm like, yo, how did he miss? He was on fire. Like, yo, come on.
Exactly. All right, guys, I got to get off, but it was great talking with y'all. I'm gonna do it again.
Hey, Cornerstone, don't worry. I don't want you to. When you go to bed tonight, I just want you to know you don't need to worry. He's staying.
Hey, put it this way, Spree. When 3:35 comes up, and he's still there, I'm going to put a big sign up that says, I'm still here, and then put the profanity down there because you know what it'll be and everything. So, all right, guys, take care. I love y'all, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay. All right. Okay.
Peace. Man, that guy is a good dude. I appreciate his loyalty to Frank. I respect it. You gotta love it.
Yeah, of course, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. He probably telling us he gonna go to sleep, but really he watching the clock right now. Like, he he watching, trying to make sure his guy don't go. But you know what? It's not like, listen, man, we appreciate it, man. We love it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool. It's always good to be respectful and you know what I'm saying? If you loyal to your team and loyal to your players, ain't nothing wrong with that.
I agree.
Yeah, I've always been a Frank fan ever since we got him. You know, I just come to the fact that he's not a point guard, and I'm okay with that. You know, I said this before. You know, I think Fizdale had the right thought in mind when he put him at the 3 at the start of the year that he was coaching. But you know, sometimes when you're the first to go through that fire, you're the first to get burned, and you know everybody chastises you. But you know, sometimes after the first comes, people start to follow. And yeah, I just like to see him there at the 3 more often, playing the off guard with Quickly. I mean, we're pretty much, we have a lot of players, man. We have a lot of players. We go 10 deep. We still, you know, even when we were hit by that injury bug, we were still able to keep above water. You know, we were down Peyton, we were down Rose, we were down Mitchell. I think there was a point that we were also down Mitch and down Nerlens and Josh. What's his name? Gibson had to step up. So you know, we have a lot of depth. We have a lot of flexibility, and I don't see that much of a need to do anything crazy.
Right. What's up, Delano?
What's good with y'all? What's the vibes?
What's up, man?
Yo, what up?
See you, bro.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen. Hey, you know, let me help y'all out, man, because I know what the issue is, right? And I think deep down, Tibbs really doesn't want to regurgitate the same mistake he made. I'm gonna put y'all on historically. Remember back in 2011, right? He played the Sacramento Kings. It was like the 10th game of the season, and the Bulls was up by 35 points with like 8 minutes and 11 seconds left in the third quarter, right? And all of a sudden, this miraculous run happened where Sacramento was just knocking down shot after shot and was getting stops, and the whole time he was just continuously crawling back. They was crawling back into the game. And Sacramento ended up beating the Chicago Bulls by 9 points. I think that game lives with Tibbs.
It left a scar on him.
Huh?
I said it left a scar on him.
Yeah. And you see every time there's a run, he's always angry. He's trying to get his guys to come back in the game. I think that's really what it is. I think he learned that lesson where, okay, they're making a run. This is a game of runs. I'll put my guys in later, and you know we'll go ahead and sustain our lead, and we'll keep the momentum going. He put his guys in late. It didn't stop the momentum of Sacramento, and they ended up losing that game. And now, anytime you see a run happen, was the first thing he's doing, pulling guys out the game, get my starters back in there, or leave my starters in because I quote unquote want to make sure they play all 48 minutes. Nah, you don't want to sacrifice a lead and end up having another Sacramento on your hands. That is my belief with why Tibbs and his rotations happen the way it does, where he doesn't allow people to either A, make full runs, or B, he doesn't leave guys, his starters on the bench for such a long period of time. Whenever he sees a mistake or something like that, Obi makes he makes a mistake and it's Yankum time. You know what I mean? And like that's crazy to me. I think that's the justification of it. I think that's why he does it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you on that, Delano, because anything can happen. Anything can happen in those situations. Like, I don't think he's happy that he has to bring back Julius. I don't think Julius was happy that he had to come back in the game. But
you could tell he wasn't happy.
Yeah, he was he was mad, but you got to do what you got to do, man. These guys are professionals, and then what happens if you do lose a game like that? You're gonna be like, yo, why did he bring the starters in? So it's always a tug and pull with that sort of situation, and it's better being safe than sorry.
Yeah, and then you got to think about the fact again, that team is a lesser team. It's the same thing. It's a lesser team, so you expect to come out with that W. Again, you've got such a tremendous lead. You don't expect to come back. And again, you've seen even what happened with Minnesota when they started making their runs and everything, is because we left our starters on the bench a little bit too long. Guys got a little complacent. Yeah, we were shorthanded, but that's still a lesser team. So first thing he did, call that timeout, cursed his guys out, put his starters back in there, get this run back, and let's get this W. You know what I mean? And the momentum had started to shift to where Minnesota was almost about to kill us and take that game from us.
Yeah, and it's also a teaching moment because, you can see how Obi was like, damn, like I didn't get it done. Like he had to bring back Julius. So it puts the onus on him for the next time that happens. It's like, yo, I got to do better. Whatever it is that he has to do, I just have to do it better because it's kind of like when you in practice and somebody does something wrong and the coach is like, everybody got to run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you feel like, oh man, because of me, and then especially he goes, you not running, everybody else is running, but you not. You feel so bad, man. You're like, damn. So
Yeah,
it's kind of like
that's kind of like remember that movie
Coach Carter?
when no, not Coach Carter, the one when with the I forget the dude's name, man, but the one when they were in the army or whatever, and dude wasn't supposed to have no food and he had the jelly donut, like, you know what I'm saying? And
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, and he made him eat the jelly donut, and he was like, they paying for it, you eat it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those situations like that. Like, you don't never want to see that happen where, like, you know what I'm saying? Coach is telling you, oh, yep, all of you guys run. No, you're good. You staying here with me.
He kind of makes you feel it, And it's a teaching moment, man. Like, this is what Tibbs is doing, man. He's teaching these kids, man. Like, people think it's something else, but it's actually simple when you really look at it.
I got a question for the panel. You guys hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. If we strike out with Lonzo Ball, right? What do you guys feel about getting Eric Bledsoe and a first rounder for him, which is what the Pelicans are offering if they could unload Eric Bledsoe? I mean, technically, I think he's better than most of our guards. What do you guys feel about that, though?
I think that if I can go first, I think that they're offering that for a reason, because the guy is really not good right now. It could be locker room things, it could be play on the court, but I mean, if again, Griffin is one of those smart managers, and those guys aren't just giving up first round picks for nothing. So I was thinking about Bledsoe. I think in the last podcast I was into the Bledsoe thing because of the third year having only 4 million guaranteed. But looking at it better, looking at from at another perspective, I'm like, no, there's something to that. And I'd just rather stay away. I rather to be honest, I'd rather just stay with Peyton and Derrick Rose and quickly as our 3-point guard lineup.
I agree. I think Rose was the move at point to upgrade, and I think Peyton is still going to be on this team. I don't think he's going to get moved either. So I don't think Bledsoe is I don't see that.
Well, the guy being moved is Austin Rivers. They said that Austin Rivers might be bought out.
I could see that, yeah.
So what if Austin Rivers gets bought out or gets traded, and we get Eric Bledsoe in that deal and a first-round pick?
What I think the deal was with Austin is John Henson is the one that's is who they're thinking about picking up with that roster spot to back up the power forward. Maybe sit Obi and have Henson back up Julius. Brings a little bit more defense, veteran leadership, and in the playoffs you're probably going to be using a John Henson more than an Obi Toppin. So I think that's what I heard. That's what they're thinking about doing. I mean, these deals that they're making, they're small deals, man. And to be honest, if we have no trades in this trade deadline, I still think that we did okay just because we did do that Derrick Rose trade. So I think that was the main cog, just like Spree was just saying. That was just like the main piece. Only thing that it was under the radar and it was done a month ago,
I don't think I can disagree with you. But when you have a Walt parent, right? When you have a Walt parent and you go out of your way to spend a couple of minutes to go get him, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if half of the front office or 1/3 of the front office is looking to get another first-round pick in 2022 or 2024. So that we do have the same situation like we did have with Obi and Quickly and the second-round pick, so that the front office can continue to add talent through the draft. And also when it comes to and technically he is, but I mean, I don't know, man. When I look at the guards, I'm like, I do like Derrick Rose, but Freezy's making a great point. You got to add talent. And, this guy Eric Bledsoe only has 2 years left. And I'm like, we get a first rounder and we get a flyer on him. I don't know, man.
He gets nicked up a lot. That's my concern with him. I mean, he's talented. He always gets hurt. That's just my problem with him.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, your boy Julius Randle is not getting traded. So don't worry.
Thank you, sir.
Remember there were people that said that, God of Moses, how crazy that
was?
Oh,
my goodness,
we had to deal with that?
Those were the tough times. It wasn't easy. I mean, I was at level 10 fighting with that. I'm like, yo, man, like this, and there were so many ways I could have said it better angles, better argument. You learn later. But at that time, I'm glad. But what really is helping my argument is that he's passing the ball. He's actually playing like Draymond. He's like the main guard. Like he's the main, like a playmaker for the team, like a point forward. And you see him give that extra effort, which I was talking about. I was like,
yeah, you told me. You were the only one. And look, I didn't know he would be a top 15 player, God of Moses. But
it wasn't just the idea wasn't just like, hey man, I'm gonna stand by Julius Randle. He's my favorite player. No. The idea was me telling the panel, he's gonna get better. Watch, he's gonna get better. And then Freezy started with the whole, he's gonna be an all-star this year. I agreed with him, but it was hard for people to agree with me that, hey, listen, Spreewell, he's gonna be like a Draymond Green. You have stretch fours and you have power forwards that that can pass the ball like Draymond Green, Julius Randle's going to be one of those. Watch. And it was hard. No, it's like nobody could agree with me at that time. But now that you have a better coach, which I knew that Tom Thibodeau, if we got Tom Thibodeau, I was like, man, I bet you Tom Thibodeau is going to get this guy right. Watch. The minute he gets him, watch.
Look, you're the only one. Look, I love all you guys, but bottom line is when we have a big move, come playoff time or rotations, you know the first person I'm going to ask what their thoughts are? It's you, God of Moses, because you knew about the Randle thing before anyone. You knew it before Tibbs. I don't think Tibbs knew.
I wanted Tibbs. Ask Freezy, he'll tell you. I
don't know if God of Moses was the only person that said Julius Randle. I remember this dude, Uncle Freezy, was saying that 20 and 10 is not easy to come by. Remember that? Remember that in October, Raphael? Remember?
Yeah, he said Freezy started. I said that Freezy
20 and 10 were empty stats, and I was like, no, 20 and 10 is not empty stats. If 20 and 10 was so easy to get, how come everybody's not doing it? Right? That was me and God of Moses and Elijah sending up to like 800 people a week about Julius Randle, and he said the way that Julius Randle becomes an all-star is by passing the ball more and getting his assists up, and he can do it. And so I didn't believe that because when I looked at what he did last year, when I looked at who he was passing to last year, I was like, it's not that he can't pass, it's just that he won't pass because the people he were passing to were named R.J. Barrett, Mo Harkless, Elfrid Payton. You know what I'm saying? Guys like that. And when he was kicking the ball out, you're like, why would he? I would reconsider that too. I'm like, why would I kick out to Mo Harkless in the corner for 3?
And not to mention, I just made a video, and salute to Spree and Z. So shout out to Zach because I spoke to Zach, and I'm like, Zach, the reason I'm talking about trade talks is because we got the same starting 5 as last year. It's like, we have. Last year Wayne Ellington was in this team. We have last year the starter. Who's the starter? Elfrid Payton, RJ. I mean, after Marcus Morris got traded, I think Reggie Bullock was the small forward. I forgot who was the small forward at that time. I kind of lost track.
Wayne Ellington.
Wayne Ellington.
It was Mo Harkless.
Oh, it could have been Mo Harkless. You're right. I think it was. So it was Mo Harkless.
Wasn't Harkless hurt though? Wasn't he? I
don't know.
He didn't get hurt. He didn't get hurt until the third week after that trade.
So I'm like, man, we got basically the same starting 5 as last year. Like, I'm like, so why are people still complaining about Reggie Bullock when the offseason showed up? People didn't have an opinion. People were like, well, we already got a small forward, Kevin Knox, and I want him to get more. But I'm like, you need a veteran in this team. And now we're seeing it. And I just told Freezy, I just hit him at the chat, like, Freezy, your boy Kelly Oubre is available. Golden State Warriors are aggressively looking to trade Kelly Oubre. Do you make a move for Kelly Oubre still? Or maybe he's not a good fit for this team?
I like Kelly Oubre. I think he would be a good Tibbs type of player. He's in today's NBA, very good defender, long, athletic, can shoot. God of Moses, your package, by the way, I just put the tracking in. It's coming today by the end of the day. So that means after the trade deadline, I want you to wear that tomorrow on the show. I mean today, tonight on the show.
We'll do.
Please.
We'll do.
Okay.
We'll do, Latrell.
No, I like Kelly Oubre. I even liked him on the Wizards when he was here. I thought to me he was a good piece.
Right.
He gave us fits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like.
Think about the times we was playing. Think about the times he was playing the Wizards and Kelly Oubre was on the floor. It seemed like he was having career nights against us. So he made a name for himself as being a Knick problem. You know what I mean? It's like those guys when they're the guys that's given the same reason I actually like James Ennis III is because last season when we would play Philadelphia, third quarter we could be up by like 12, 13 points. You put James Ennis in the game and all of a sudden we're down by like 4.
Yo, Eddie C, this is what I don't like, right? With our team. This is what I don't like. There is always a player There's always a player that doesn't drop buckets like that, that doesn't do whatever. But like, you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
They for some reason against us, they have a career night, or they're a guy that only scores like 7-8 points per game. But like, you know what I'm saying? By the time the end of the game hit, they got 30 or something like that, or they dropping 20 something or whatever. There's always for some reason, I don't know what it is. For some reason, our team, there's always one guy that just goes off and kills us that shouldn't
Terrence
go
Ross,
off. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't think it's happened this year.
City, is Kelly Oubre the answer? Is Kelly Oubre that guy that can defend RJ man, take some of the workload off RJ, and defend Julius's man when need be, and then also hold it down at the 3 position? Is Kelly Oubre that guy?
For our team, I would agree with Spree. I would say it's possible. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, we know his potential. We see what he can do, but can he live up to that potential? Can he live up to the standards that we see him as? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, can he live up to the ceiling that we put the ceiling, whatever his ceiling is? Can he live up to that? I don't know. That's like, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he's capable of doing it. I just can't say for sure that he would do it or not.
I didn't even know he was available.
I'm just gonna get my take before I gotta go walk the dog. But Kelly Oubre was one of my first choices as a trade target. Really back, like before Derrick Rose, he was like one of my first trade targets. But somebody talked me out of it. And what it came down to was his attitude. I don't know if that's something that we want to bring into the clubhouse, because if I can say something about our team right now is that it looks like we all care about each other. We all like each other. We want to play for each other, and we want to be there for each other. And I think that's a real thing. Trying to bring another personality in there that's gonna break or gonna hinder that, especially going on this playoff push. So if there's anything that I'll harp on when it comes to Kelly Oubre, it's not his game, because I like his intensity. I know he can make that 3, maybe not all the time, but you know, probably when we need it, he'll make it. Is his personality, his attitude, and I don't know if that'll mesh. And with that said, I'll be back. I'm gonna go walk the dog.
I'll just say this. You know who I don't want to go to the Lakers? Kyle Lowry. Please do not go to the Lakers.
I don't think he's going to go, man. I don't think he's going to the Lakers. I think, if anything, he might go to the Clippers.
Well, I don't mind that. I don't want him to go with LeBron. That's going to annoy me.
I would say this. What if we woke up tomorrow and we had a Woj bomb? Boom! Kyle Lowry's on the Knicks.
Wow.
Like that. Yeah.
I may streak across my my apartment naked.
Man,
I love Kyle Lowry, man.
If we get Kyle Lowry, it's championship or bust, right? If we get Kyle Lowry, it's championship or bust, right?
We could win it, baby. I love Kyle Lowry. I mean, he's a perfect. I'll just say this about Kyle Lowry. He's a winner. He would be perfect for Julius. Is he up there in age? Yes, but he could still ball. And I think the Sixers or the Heat are probably going to get him, but we'll see.
My thinking is he's, with the way the NBA is today, I'm going to make it real quick. Kyle Lowry's going to, players like Kyle Lowry, he's going to pick his teams. Send me to the Clippers or send me to the 76ers. That's what I think so too, Spree. He's going to, these players, they choose the spots where they're getting traded to. So I don't see him going to the Lakers. I see him either going to the Clippers or to the 76ers. Keep it short.
Well, I also don't want him to go to the Clippers. Yeah, I don't want him to go to the Clippers either, because if they lose, then Kawhi may come here, maybe. Or at least I'm praying.
I don't know.
Listen, we can't even hang our hats on. What'd you say?
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, we can't even hang our hats on, like, you know what I'm saying, like, who's gonna come here, like, you know what I'm saying. Right now, we gotta live in the moment, man. Like, you know what I'm saying. We gotta respect our team, live in the moment, and rock with the guys that's rocking right now. And if we do bring somebody new on board, you got to show and prove. It's just like I said, man, listen, when Alex Rodriguez first came to the Yankees, right? I couldn't stand that guy. Couldn't stand him. Hated him. When he had that fight with was it Jason Varitek or something like that or whatever, when they threw out his head and he was like, come on, bring it. That's when I said, okay, you earned your pinstripes, bro. You earned your pinstripes right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it takes something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I'm all for it, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a guy's got to step up and show me something to why he needs to be here. Yes, I'm for the foolishness. Like, you know what I'm saying? When Drake Crowder did that thing and Alfred Payton got over there and pushed him, my guy to Alpha Wall Street, yes, I was for the silliness because I was like, bro, this guy was saying, nah, yo, you ain't doing, no, you're not doing that to us. And that's a big statement. Anytime you have a guy that's willing to say, yo, you know what? I'm going to push this dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's a big statement. Like, you know what I mean? That's showing I got this. Yes.
That's why I love Kenyon Martin.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You're not going to come in here and do whatever it is that you want to do. No. Knock it off.
And speaking of Kenyon Martin, when I was looking at the draft profile, right? I was looking at Obi, who Obi was being compared to. That's who they compared him to: Sean Marion and Kenyon Martin. I so I just read the whole thing. I mean, I was planning to make a video about it, and I'm like, I don't know why people make it. You know, I don't try to get too high or too low, and I think it's accurate. I think he's a mixture of Kenyon Martin and Sean Marion. He got those hops. So sometimes when I see him jump with his athleticism, I'm like, man, he's
Sorry, God. This is the first time that I've seen this, but it's the Knicks at Night podcast. Yo, we got 102 in the building. Let's go. And I'll shout y'all out with my freezy voice again. Yo, what's good? We got 102 in the building. Let's get it. The energy is good. We right now, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yes, we doing that thing, man. We doing that thing y'all like.
Yes, sir.
But I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. When it come down to Lowry, the positives outweigh the negative a lot. But the contract is always gonna be the contract issue. What's the cost?
What is he making?
What are they? Like 30 million, 31.6 million, something like that. So again, the question is, what's the asking price? Is it a situation where it's money and just maybe like Frank in a draft pick, or will they want to kind of gut us to, you know what I'm saying, compensate for the loss of Kyle Lowry? Because I'm gonna keep it real. Like, if you look at everything that he brings to the table, right, as far as style of play, he'll be one of the best point guards we've had to fit that mold right now, right? He can knock down the three, he can defend, and he's durable. So as you know, it's always been stated, your best availability is availability. You know what I'm saying? Your best ability is availability. And he normally fits the mold with that. How many times have you really seen Kyle Lowry out for a long period of time? You know what I mean? So, you know, even with the age situation, he takes good care of himself to where he's able to stay on the floor for long periods of time. And, you know, again, we can benefit from somebody like that, which is why I was kind of like, you know, I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on him early in the season. But I do have a problem with doing the mid-season trades when we have momentum going. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's the guy that will put us over the hump, or if we'll kind of have to hit a restart and, you know what I'm saying, kind of suffer some losses, you know what I'm saying, before we get in a rhythm. So it's hard to say, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I love his game, but at the end of the day, we're also looking at the fact that he's a franchise player right now for Toronto. What's Toronto looking like right now?
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, but Toronto's underperforming, but they haven't been playing at home. They're playing at Tampa, so they're sort of out of sync. People are saying that they're out of sync with that because they're never at home this whole season.
Hey, listen, we can't even blame it on that, man. If you're a player and you can play anywhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even want to give them that excuse. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm with you. Let me ask you guys this. On a scale of 1 to 10, I hear some background noise. On a scale of 1 to 10, how enjoyable has this season been for you? God of Moses, I want you to go first.
Woo! Man, it's been my life easy, man. I give it a 10, man. 500 season. I mean, this is the most. I mean, I think if Tibbs could have gotten more wins, he would have gotten it because Tibbs is all about winning, man. He's not with that other. I mean, he. There are sometimes a substitution. You know, I get those arguments, but Tibbs wants to win games, and we've lost games because of refs too. We're 21-21. I see all the effort. I got everything I wanted, man. I see, you know, RJ, I like the chemistry, the team chemistry, the leadership of Julius Randle. I'm starting to see RJ's pick with his development, but also his character development too. Like there's a level of character development that I'm like, okay, I like the character that I'm seeing. Can this guy be the leader of this team? I'm like, I see the second leader of this team, and I'm starting to see it, and it's becoming better and better. And so, and Tibbs, man, I mean, Kenny Payne, Johnny Bryan, and I'm not concerned, you know, even if we make a trade, you know, in the front office, I mean, everything's looking, the trade for Derrick Rose, I was happy. Once we got Derrick Rose, I was happy. He's been sort of non-existent so far, and that's why I'm talking about Eric Bledsoe in the first-round pick. I mean, I like the drafting. I mean, a lot of people are debating about the Obi situation, and this look. Sometimes things are, whether right or wrong, there are some concerns with every player. You know, sometimes we get. I've seen you get frustrated about RJ, and sometimes you got to express it. I mean, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
You know,
I was emotional. I had a bad day at work, and I took it out on RJ because of a couple bad shooting nights. But you know what? He's mentally tough, God of Moses, to your point. I agree with you. I think it's a 10 for me. I can't believe I never give 10s.
Right.
I don't know. Sidney, what are your thoughts?
But I wanted to say this real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Thing is, sometimes what you feel, other people feel, and sometimes they can't express it. So sometimes I think it's okay when you say, hey, listen, I'm not happy with RJ today, man. I'm simply not. And sometimes, you know, he needs to step up, and he is stepping up.
So you think I helped RJ? Is that what you're saying?
I think some, you know, I mean, you know, it's not like you're hating on him. I think sometimes it's called for. Like sometimes there was those times. I mean, sometimes you wanted a little better. Come on, RJ, pick it up. And
I just think the decision-making got him. When I called him out, it wasn't even the shot-making. It was just his decision-making was not great early on in the year. And I wanted to call him out because he's a young player, and I think he would learn from Tibbs and me, you know, in the film room and stuff, and he has. And but the one thing I always said about RJ, God of Moses, even when he was struggling, is he bounced back. He would always bounce back, and that's a good sign with a young player.
Well said.
I can't give up on the kid. But he was scaring me. I'm not gonna lie to you, God of Moses. When he had 7 to 8 bad games in a row, I can't just ignore it and not come on here and say it.
Right.
I have to.
Right. Yeah, because we care about these games. Every game matters now.
You're right.
Every game matters. So
Listen, we've been saying this for like forever, right? And here's the thing, right? I'm gonna grade it. Yes, I'm gonna give it a 10. You know why? Because if this was last year, y'all already know where we would be. We would be under the rug right now talking about what we gonna get, what we gonna do. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is a big step for us. How could you not give it a 10? Because guess what? Everybody is happy. All Knicks fans are happy. Everybody is, I mean, some of them might not be happy, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody is looking up. Like, yo, guess what? We on the come up. We on the rise. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how could you not be happy to bleed that orange and blue, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'll tell y'all this, and I said it again, man. I said it the other night. If we make the playoffs, I'm bringing the orange and blue dreads back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I had them before. If y'all didn't know, I had them before, and I'll show you right now because I'm with it. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll stop that and hold on. Let me go back to here. I can't find it now. Well, I guess I can't show you.
We got 3 10s, man. That's rare for Knicks fans to all be in agreement so far. Wow.
I mean, spring. It was such a great offseason. We got Obi and IQ and more second round picks, and then we traded for Derrick Rose at a crucial time, and we're 21-21, and we're beating good teams. We're not just being the teams we're supposed to beat. We're also at the beginning of the season we were beating the teams we weren't supposed to win. You know, Utah Jazz is in first place.
I agree, man. That schedule early on. I mean, we did catch some breaks, but for the most part, you got to give the team credit. We beat some good teams, really good teams.
Right. And also, when we lose, we're not losing we actually lost one by 20 or 30, but
we should have won that Sixers game, man. I didn't like that call. My issue with, I don't know if you heard me, God of Moses, because I haven't talked to you, but my issue with that was it technically, did Randle push him in the back? Yes. I just don't think you can make the call there. Yeah. Based on how the game was officiated the whole game. They were letting him play. So that
especially the way guys be flopping and nowadays, man. Like you could poke a guy and all of a sudden he's on the floor rolling around, like, you know what I'm saying, looking at the ref, like, what's going on? Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's a good point, City, for real, because, you know, I get it that IQ is not a point guard, you know, with his kind of game, but that's why I'm glad we have somebody who draws fouls, because I'm like, yo, man, these guys is in a league today where there's nothing but flopping and flopping and flopping and flopping. Like, in order to stay competitive, you need a flopper in the team. Somebody got to be flopping for fouls. Because
Duke and Sharon says you can't call that at the end, especially when people barely call it. I agree. You just don't see that call at the end of the game like that. That's rare.
And not to mention, so IQ with, I want to, you know, the Knicks.
He missed some free throws.
No, but I was going to say the Knicks' reputation, even when Melo was here, even he wasn't getting no foul calls. I remember sometimes that Melo was getting fouls. It's like, yo, man, you didn't see that, but because his style of game at that time wasn't conducive, wasn't drawing, he wasn't flopping and all that. Like he wasn't getting that many calls either.
He didn't get respect from the refs as a superstar player. There's no doubt.
And we need to start getting respect from the refs. And I feel like a good starting point so far was at least quickly is pushing for this team. Now, if they make a trade, I want somebody that draws fouls too. Like if it doesn't make sense to bring in a player that is not getting respect from the refs. Like you have to. If not, then you know, Julius Randle's fighting for every call. I mean, RJ's doing, I think, okay. I haven't seen, but we need to make sure that that we're getting respect for the refs. It doesn't. If not, it's going to make it. Especially if we're going to the playoffs, and people are going to flop more. So,
I'm with you. I think Carmelo. To be fair to the refs, and I agree with you, he deserved way more calls. He didn't get respect, but Melo is very difficult to officiate.
Yes.
He's a difficult player. Certain players, I agree with you, get more respect than others. Did he deserve more calls? Yes. Were there times where I feel like he kind of hurt himself with certain things? Yes. But I also think he's a difficult guy to officiate. I think Randle is sometimes difficult to officiate. I agree. I think he should get more calls.
I can't disagree with you, man.
When he does that, God of Moses, when he does that swing move, like where he's going into a shot before he goes into that shot, they don't give him enough calls when he's going up for it. Because in the NBA now they'll say that's on the floor. But I think there's been a few times where Randle actually got it in the shooting motion and should have been given free throw. And it gets me upset.
I think early in the season he was getting that call more. But as the season went on, they're like, you know what, we can't be giving him those. But
Be careful what you ask for about this officiating. I'm gonna tell you a couple of things, right? First off, it could go either way, and I'm gonna tell you why. You can't lower your shoulders any longer, and Randle does that a lot. So we can sit here and argue about the calls that we don't get for him, but there's easily an argument where they can make it where that's an offensive foul. You can't lower your shoulders like that. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he got away with one on Bradley Beal the other night.
So let's not be so quick to talk about what because I'm gonna tell you honest to God truth. I have my conspiracy theories. Let me ask y'all this: how many games did Vegas project us to win?
22.
You think they're happy right now?
No.
I mean, they changed it.
Yeah, yeah. And how many times have you seen Vegas do something like that?
I think it happens more often. Teams go over and teams go over all the time. I think.
I'm gonna tell you the only sport that it happens in is baseball. Baseball is the only sport. Even football doesn't do it. Baseball is the only sport where you've seen more changes allowed in Vegas. In Vegas projections. So all of a sudden now you see that we got projections and it differs, right? And people in Vegas are trying to make this money. We're not trying to give it away. Here come the Knicks doing what Knicks are doing. How do we stop this?
Are you saying the Knicks are the only team overachieving? Because I mean, the Jazz got more wins than they expected. I'm sure.
That's not true. I'm gonna tell you why. Jazz have always been a playoff team for one. Secondly, they've always hindered around the 50 mark in regards to win totals. So them winning right now, them having a good season right now, is not nothing new. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you what's so funny. They're ahead of schedule. They're behind schedule because I thought last year that Utah was gonna be one of the best 3 teams in the West because when they acquired Conley, they got an upgrade from Ricky Rubio because Ricky Rubio can't space the floor like Conley could. And that was something that they was lacking at from the point guard position. So now here you got an upgrade at the position, but he just didn't play well last season. Now you got him playing well this season, and you got everybody else clicking. So I can't give you that one with Utah. Utah is doing exactly what I thought they were gonna do personally.
How many wins were they expected to get this season?
At least 52.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
52 out of 72.
They was projected to be one of the top 3 teams in the NBA last season, and the projection stayed the same this season. It was always going to be Utah in the mix. Denver was the 4th team.
I agree. Delano, I agree with you. I mean, my only thing with the Jazz is, to me, they're a regular season team.
Yeah.
The way they play, I just don't think it's going to translate in the playoffs.
What about
Milwaukee?
What about the Phoenix Suns? I mean, so Phoenix Suns were expected to be that high, number 2?
No, they weren't. But at the same time, you expected to see some level of growth because at the end of the day, you acquired what's potentially a Hall of Faming point guard to be the upgrade once again to Ricky Rubio. So here you are now in a position to where you get a guy that has continuously elevated every team he's been on. Name a team that you've seen regression when Chris Paul arrives.
Well, he's been to the Clippers. He got traded to the Clippers. Then he got traded to Houston. Then he got traded to OKC, and now the Suns. I mean,
the Hornets, when he got drafted, where were they? They were a lottery team. Where did they become after he got there? Playoff team, right?
Playoff team.
Okay, he got traded to the Clippers. There was a lottery team. Where did they become after that?
Playoff team.
Lob City.
Okay. Went to Houston. Houston was already a playoff team, but what did he take them further than
Western Conference Finals?
Okay. After he got there, he went to OKC. OKC was projected to be a lottery team. What did they become?
They lost in the first round, but they were a playoff team that nobody expected to make the playoff.
So again, I say we can't sit there and act like Chris Paul ain't the caveat to this whole situation where you expect them to be a playoff team and progressing, being better than they were before, especially with a team that the only reason that they didn't make it out the bubble is because there was a team that was better than them in regards to Portland.
You're right.
Portland's the only reason that they didn't make the playoffs last season because they was undefeated in the bubble.
You know who looks like they're overachieving?
So
you know who looks like they're Charlotte Hornets looks like they were kind of overachieving too.
Well, they just got
they do look like they're
LaMelo's hurt now.
But they're a small market team. They're a small market team. Who's looking at them for real? You know what I'm saying? They're a small market team.
They're number 4.
Expected at least another season before they can actually make some noise. They just kind of ahead of schedule right now.
I still think Michael Jordan could give us 15 minutes at 58 years old. That's just me.
Well, hey, listen, he's the GOAT for a reason, right?
They hung up on me on ESPN Radio New York a couple years ago when I said, get Michael Jordan on this team for 15 minutes a night.
They hung up on you?
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
But I'm telling you, though, as far as the situation with the Knicks, you got to think about it like this, right? For one, the market has always been, at this point, Los Angeles. All you've ever heard about was Los Angeles. The Lakers are making moves. The Lakers is a lottery team. What was attractive about them for LeBron to want to go there? It was the market. The market shifted. We wanted to see more teams on the West Coast to get more love. Golden State made their run. California team doing their thing. So now we shifted into the bigger market. Let's get Los Angeles back in track. You got to think about the fact that when they drafted Lonzo Ball, there was a lottery team. But who got more TV coverage as a lottery team? When's the last time you see that happen? A lottery team gets 27 games on national television. When's the last time you seen something like that happen? And they lost about 24 of those games.
Hey, Delano, to respond to that, I think Magic Johnson just basically told LeBron James, come to the Lakers. We got Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart. We're going to trade all of them. We're going to get you a championship piece.
Uh-huh.
And look, they got AD.
Yeah.
But I'm concerned about AD, man. I really think it's possible his Achilles, he might have an Achilles problem. A very bad Achilles problem, too.
But hear this, Raph. Here's what's so funny about that, right? With that whole situation, the whole media uproar about it, he first off signs with Clutch Sports. Jalen Rose reports that he'll eventually ask for a trade prior to this whole trade request to go to Los Angeles. Why would you say that? Why would you even think that? You know what I'm saying? Signing with another agent all of a sudden makes you think that he's going to go to another team or request a trade. Why? He just signed a contract to want to stay with New Orleans. Now all of a sudden he's unhappy. Okay, well, let's leave it at that. I don't want to go too far into it. Then you turn around. Dell Demp says, no, I'm not doing that deal with y'all. I don't care what you offer. Anthony Davis stays. Then he gets fired. For what? For what? What did he do different? You know what I'm saying? He's been doing the same thing for how many years? Now all of a sudden Anthony Davis switches to Clutch Sports and wants to get out of there. Dell Demp says, that's not the trade that I want to do. Y'all ain't got enough pieces for me. He gets fired, brings in David Griffin, and David Griffin says in 2 seconds, okay, I got you. You don't think it's fishy?
I think he might have got, because Magic Johnson, I mean, either he quit or he got fired, but so I think Dell Demps and Magic Johnson it's possible they both got let go from the company because the information got leaked.
What information was that? The whole trade thing?
Yeah, I think that whole thing that got people just started talking and they just I think they both got let go. I don't think it was just Dell Demps. I think Magic Johnson respectfully resigned from that because of that situation too. I think.
Yo, Freezy, I don't know if you can hear me, but Eric G's in the building. He wants to get in.
That whole Pelinka Magic thing was wild. When he went on First Take, that was crazy.
threw him under the bus, right?
So speaking of Magic, what do you think about him talking about Lonzo Ball to the Knicks?
Oh my God!
I expected it.
I didn't even watch it. I don't even know what he said. So y'all guys put me on this. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm lost in the sauce with that one.
Oh, he
just. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say he basically was letting it be known that he felt that Lonzo Ball had the highest IQ of point guard that he's ever dealt with. And my personal opinion was you're supposed to say that because that's your guy. That's the guy you drafted. You can't sit here and turn around and say, I made a mistake there. I should have went and got De'Aaron Fox instead of Lonzo Ball, especially after this whole campaign was centered around the LA kid coming back and being the savior, the same way some of us Knicks fans be looking for our savior to be whoever it is that you know what I'm saying comes in the draft. I'm saying the Lakers did basically that. They said, well, Magic said Lonzo's the answer. Lonzo's supposed to be the new age me. And when he didn't live up to that, it's something else going on. Maybe it's the coaching. Maybe it's something else that we need to fix. And he gets traded. But at the same time, again, your ego won't allow you to say, I made a mistake. I took the wrong person. Maybe I should have drafted De'Aaron Fox over Lonzo Ball. You know what I'm saying? So, of course he's going to sit there and say stuff like that. Not seeing how disrespectful it is.
Yo, shout out to everybody in, man. We still rock.
I'm going to have to agree with you, Delano, still on this one. If De'Aaron Fox was drafted by the Lakers, he still would have been a Laker.
No question.
I just don't like Magic.
No question.
I respect Magic. I just don't like him talking about my team.
The thing is that he drafted Julius Randle.
But if you saw the interview, he was like, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that." Like,
right?
Relax, Magic. We got it under control. Got it.
True.
I respect Magic though. The guy is a great player. Just come on. We got this under control, my man.
Mm-hmm.
But
we don't need you.
It's always entertaining.
Again, tell them we don't need you to give us we don't need you to give us.
Well,
especially when you couldn't get it together on your own team.
We got
as a front office executive.
We got Leon now. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be leaving.
Yeah, he's a quitter.
I mean, I would have said that to him. I would just say, thank you, and I'll consider it. I'll think about it. But a person like Magic, I'm like, oh shoot,
I just think that whole Lakers thing was weird. Like at the time, the rumor was that Magic wasn't coming into the office doing the work, and that Rob Pelinka was a backstabber, telling people that Magic was, and like that whole thing. And then Magic goes on First Take and reveals all this, and then they're like, Rob Pelinka and Magic are now boys again once they won the champion. Like the whole thing was weird. The whole thing.
I agree. And my Spree, to me, I don't even know if that's true or if it's real. I don't know which one it is. I just think he just got fired for that whole drama that happened between Del Depps getting fired and the Lakers having to fire him. I think even Adam Silver probably stepped in and told them they both need to step down.
I don't know, man. It was just like Magic, like literally remember like he was in the hallway saying, yeah, this is my last day here. See you guys.
Yeah, right. You see what I'm saying? You see how that made no sense because of Rob Pelinka. So, he had to make it seem like it was Rob Pelinka when it really had nothing to do, in my eyes. I mean, I'm not there. I'm just going from, and I'm a Knicks fan, so I'm going from outside looking in. Del Demps gets fired randomly, like City for Real says, and then randomly, Magic steps down because of drama between Rob Pelinka. So I feel like he just had to orchestrate another situation for when the truth is because they both need to get fired because this Anthony Davis situation, it was getting ugly though. You remember that, Spree? Remember how ugly that situation was getting? That was a pretty. It was an ugly situation for the Lakers, for the league, for Anthony Davis, for Rich Paul.
It was ugly.
For the Pelicans, everybody. So people needed to get fired for that situation.
I remember. That was definitely that was ugly for a while. It wasn't like a few weeks. It was like 3 months.
So it got so ugly that they needed to blame that Magic Johnson needed to stop blaming Rob Pelinka and make it seem like the reason he's quitting is because Rob Pelinka thinks that he's not working. I don't. There's nothing about Magic Johnson to me that says he's too lazy or he's not around, that he doesn't care. He's a very passionate guy, so I don't think that he's not around and that he's too busy he's too distracted on other things. One thing he cares about is the Lakers, and at the end of the day, they got Anthony Davis, and he needed to step down, man. That's it.
They got Anthony Davis, and that obviously put them over the top. So congrats to them.
Personal opinion: Magic Johnson was a celebrity hire. It's the same thing like getting a fight going on and you get Mike Tyson to be the referee. You know what I'm saying? It was something to see. Oh, we got to sell it somehow. We can't just sit here and say we're doing something and nobody really sees the vision. So get somebody that you can relate to or that you can associate with this franchise, and who better than Magic Johnson?
No, you're right. Hey, God of Moses, what's your favorite PlayStation 3 game that you're the best at?
How do you know it's PlayStation 3?
You told me that you're a big PS3 guy. What's the game that you beat everybody online?
I'm telling you,
the audience wants to know.
Man, I'm telling you right now, I got the PS4. I got a bunch of games for the PS3. Right now, I'm playing. Man, this pandemic had me playing more video games than ever. But I'm playing Valkyria Chronicles.
Okay.
Have you heard of it? Nah. It's a role playing game, but
you know what I'm playing? Hey God, you know what I'm playing on the PS3 right now, and I'm still doing it. The DJ Hero 2.
When I have more time, man, I only got so much. Sometimes I'm stuck in this game, man.
And I'm mad I can't play nobody online anymore because it's not online anymore, so I can't battle nobody. So I'm like, I be tight, yo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, yo, come on, man. Like,
it's another thing too. Speaking of that, my channel, like if you look at my previous channels, I have Street Fighter channels. Like before the pandemic hit, I was doing my Street Fighter joints with Elgato, and I was posting them to my YouTube channel, just like posting. So then I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna post these Street Fighter. I'm gonna start off a Street Fighter channel, and then I'm gonna have to post up some video game channel because I'm working and gaming when I could. I'm gaming when I could.
I got you.
Then the pandemic hit, and then
you play a lot. Do you play NBA 2K at all or anything like that?
I didn't get the PS4 into the summertime, but that's my niece. It belongs to my niece. Gotcha. So I started playing. I started getting it. Like I started figuring it out. Like simulating. Like people started because I see a lot of Knicks channels. Like I'm like, what's NBA 2K and simulating? Like, oh, apparently this person's got to come to the Knicks. Like this. Like people just start making stuff up. So I started. You know what happened? I started beasting about these Knicks.
Gotcha.
I started beasting about these Knicks. I'm like, yo, man. Like I started calling in like nothing but Knicks. I started to call every day. Sam was posting up. I'm calling Sam. I'm like, yo, I gotta get into. I was like, I wanted to talk about the Knicks, and then I don't know, man. I'm here with you guys, and I can't believe. Like, I'm like, man, I can't believe that I'm not working. That's never happened before. I'm in a pandemic. People know me as God of Moses and Elijah, which was supposed to just be. My name was supposed to be just a video game channel, just alone. You know how Xbox, you just got a name, like Xbox. What your username? That was supposed to be my username. Like I used to have other names. I'm like, all right, let me just put this for now. because I'm playing Street Fighter with the same name, God of Moses. Like, you just create usernames. Then I'm arguing about the Knicks with this name. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I was like, I'm going with it. And then before you know it, I'm arguing about Julius Randle, and I'm like, oh, that's God of Moses and Elijah. I'm like, yo, man, this name is starting to stick with me now. I'm like,
no, you can't change it now.
You know how many times I try to change it, but I can't let this game name. I'm like, this is the best name ever.
Can't change it now.
I can't change it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this is like.
Mac, you don't want the smoke. You don't want the smoke with the You don't want the smoke with the.
So that's what happened. This name was randomly made for like an Xbox name or video game name that didn't mean much because I just wanted to start posting on YouTube. All I wanted to do was to start posting on YouTube, and then I wanted to start talking about the Knicks. Because man, I wanted to talk. My goal was just to talk about the Knicks, like with people. I'm like, I met Freezy, and then I'm like, I was scared to come on with Freezy. I'm like, okay, Freezy. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like,
I like Freezy, but he doesn't like my guy for some reason. He calls him overrated. So we don't get along.
I don't get it, man. I love Spreewell.
You got to tell Freezy, man. You got to get him. Tell him to come around.
Bro, that was one of the best years. I think that's one of the best years.
I agree.
I would have letting him go bothered me more than anybody else. I mean, letting Spreewell go, that bothered me. That no.
God of Moses, next time I'm in New York, I'll take you to a 2nd Avenue deli, okay? And we'll tell Freezy to come around.
Yo, I'm Spreewell, but I like that. I feel like that was the best group to put around. I felt like that was like finally the Knicks got it right and how to build around Patrick Ewing, because I'm like, you know, I still have a lot to learn with why we had Charles Oakley, and I mean, and other players. Like I would have traded Bill Cartwright for another player if I have a Patrick Ewing. I'm like, I respect Charles Oakley, much respect to Charles Oakley, and I like his character for New York. That's what he embodies. But if I have Patrick Ewing, who can score like the way he does, you know,
it was fun, man. Those were fun games, man.
Yeah.
But you said it though, Raph. You just said it though. The reason that you got Charles Oakley on that team is because of the fact that you got Patrick Ewing. And I think what it is the establishment of a culture. We already know that Patrick Ewing, despite the fact that his knees failed him, you know what I'm saying, in regards to, you know what I'm saying, some of his later years, you know what I'm saying, a little bit in his prime, you needed somebody to go in there and bulldog and bulldoze, get those rebounds, you know what I'm saying? You wanted a Draymond type in regards to toughness, and that's what Charles Oakley provided, where you couldn't allow your star player to be your bully as well. You have to have an enforcer. So I think that's what the mentality was with that trade, because you got to look at the fact that even Michael Jordan, when he publicly said he was unhappy because of the fact that was our glue guy, that was our toughness that was walking out the door. When he said that, it's like you felt that because of the fact that that's what Charles Oakley provides you. He provides that interior defense, those rebounds. He's not afraid to get in your face, and now he's going to the enemy. You know what I'm saying? And you giving him that, he becomes a viable threat alongside somebody else who can be that, because Patrick Ewing ain't no pushover. You know what I'm saying? At a time when he was able to get in there and still, you know, yamming on you and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Take your shot and throw it into the second row. You know, don't bring that weak stuff in here. You know what I'm saying? That mentality, I think that the establishment of a culture was what the Knicks was trying to do. And they succeeded up until, again, you know, age.
I see
you know what
you.
I'm saying? By the time is undefeated.
Hey, God of Moses, I got this card in today. John Starks.
Nice. Yeah.
That's my boy.
But I'm a Spreewell, dude. I'm gonna tell you, my guard, my number one, Spreewell, Houston, and Larry Johnson. Those three, I was good to go. Let's do this again. That 1 year, man. I was like, yo, man.
Let's do this again, man. Let's do this again. Sorry, God. But, yo, check it out, man. We got 98 still in the building watching with us. They rocking with us. The family is down there in the chat. They doing their thing. They hollering, they bickering back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Let's get those likes up, people. Get those likes up for this Blood Orange Tears, for the Knicks at Night podcast. And if you like the Knicks Morning Drive, get those likes up too. Go and see those guys because they be doing their thing. They be holding it down. They be shouting it out. Respect to all, man. Shout out to all. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We see you. We see you. We love it.
Yeah, man.
But Delano, I mean, you make a good point about Charles Oakley. I just would have, I would have gone another route with a player like Patrick Ewing. I would have gone for a guard or a small forward. I don't know if I would get another power forward.
Well, they had a guard. They had a couple of guards. They had Rod Strickland and they also had Mark Jackson.
No, in the 80s. Wait. What year did we get Rod Strickland?
Oh, we got him in 87.
That was back in the 80s, right? Late 80s?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then we turned
around. That's a little early for me. I don't remember that.
Yeah, see, I'm going to be honest. I was watching, but I'm a shorty at that point. You know what I'm saying? I'm still a kid, but again, we got those guys. Then we turned around and we got Derek Harper. We drafted Greg Anthony. You know what I mean? Greg Anthony actually turned into a better player, leaving and going to Portland back in '98. But he was a good guard for us then. You know what I'm saying? He was able to be sustainable. So whenever Derek Harper would go to the bench, you wasn't really losing anything bringing in Greg Anthony. You know what I mean? We had a complete team a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? The caveat might have been like maybe somebody like Charles Smith. You know what I mean? One of those guys that's all energy but no talent or something like that. You know what I mean? That's like the only guy that you can sit there and make an argument about. Get rid of that guy. But overall, everybody on that squad, you know what I'm saying, was a real contributing factor and a real reason where, again, you can say that they was a formidable force in the 90s. And every time that you played, they played the Bulls, there was a legitimate threat. There wasn't a time in the season when they faced up against anybody. And you sit there and said, okay, well, no, the Knicks is really kind of, we could get past those guys. You know what I'm saying? They was legit championship caliber threats the entire time because the best team in the East was always looking at the Knicks like, yo, those are the guys that can get us out of here. We got to play them tough. We got to be on our P's and Q's or they can mess around and boot us. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, Delano, you know what it is that when I was looking at the draft from 1985 all the way to 1990, and I never saw Rod Strickland's name. So I'm like, man, because, now that, you know how people obsess about the draft. I was like, man, I'm like, let me look at the draft from the 80s, man, from the Knicks 85 and up, where you have, how many rounds of draft? 1, 2, 3. You have 3 rounds in the draft. So I didn't see Rod Strickland's name in the draft. Or anybody. Oh, I do see it now. You know what? You're right. I see it now. So we drafted Rod Strickland in '88. That's a good point, man. That's a good point. So we had Rod Strickland, and then we had Charles Oakley and Patrick Ewing. That's not a bad story.
Yo, so now that we've been talking about old stuff, let's talk about tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk about tomorrow. Let's get this W tomorrow.
I'm with you. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get this W tomorrow. And I feel like this is a good I said this the other day. This is like almost kind of like a good playoff test for us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because if we make the playoffs, then obviously we got to play the same team again and again. So this is a testament to see what our team can do against the same team on a not back-to-back, like in the same night. Like, yeah, not in the same night, but like, you know what I'm saying? In a back-to-back.
Well, I mean, I don't think you can expect anything but the same result. You know what I'm saying? First off, we played them twice already, and we've blown them out both times. The only thing that can happen is we get overconfident and they get hot. Because despite the fact that, again, we've been holding Bradley Beal to 22 points. You know what I'm saying? We made it difficult for Westbrook to get off. He's one of those guys that can give you a, triple double, even if it is stat pattern, but he can get you, your points. He can get other guys involved. Rui Hachimura, they went away from him. If you look at the way the game started off for us, Randle was leaving him open and he was knocking down his shots.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens if maybe you start feeding him a little bit more while Randle is playing a little bit lazy on defense? We can dig ourselves into a hole. We can't come in there overconfident. That's the problem that I'm looking at right now. I don't want to get to a point where we think that we got this in the bag because they're a lesser team, and then all of a sudden they come out when they got a 17-3 lead on us.
Bro, I've said that all of the time. We not built like that to automatically go in the building and think that we're gonna get a win. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we are just not that team. Like, you know what I'm saying? Should we beat certain teams? Yes. Is it a possibility that we won't beat those teams? Yes. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because look at Sacramento. We were supposed to beat them the first time we played, and we lost. Looking bad. You know what I'm saying? Clawing back from a deficit. So it's possible. You know what I mean? We can overlook an opponent because we're so busy focused on the next one coming up. And then, again, they can get the jump on us and make us look bad because this is a team we're supposed to beat, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm. But really, I feel like there's no team in the NBA really that we supposed to beat because
Minnesota.
Because well, I would say except for if we got Austin Rivers playing against the Utah Jazz, we should beat them every time. Like,
we almost lost to Minnesota.
Like, you know, like you know what I'm saying. But no, but yo, I just feel like our team, man, it's kind of like we. I mean, like it's like we see glimpses and flashes of us being a good team. And I can't even say great team, but like we see glimpses of flashes of us being a really good team. And then we see sometimes us doing what the Knicks do. Sometimes. Not saying all of the time. So please don't kill me.
Oh, no, we could be a good team with great moments. I think that's really what the issue is. We could be a good team with great moments and a lot of great opportunities to catapult ourselves into looking like we're something more than what we are. That's why we were celebrating being in the 4th place in the Eastern Conference, you know what I'm saying, a couple weeks back, because we weren't even projected to be nothing more than the 10th spot. That was our ceiling, the 10th spot. And here we are in home court advantage of a playoff spot right now, so the situation is different once you look at it from that aspect. And again, good team with great moments. Beating.
Right. So what's your take, Spree? What you got?
I'm with you, man. We talked about this before the first Wizards game, how there's no easy game. The Knicks can't afford to take any night off. They got to hit first, and that's what they got to do tonight. Same thing. Hit first, get off to a good start, close. Got to play as close to 48 minutes as possible. We're not really a 48-minute team. We're probably around most of the year we've been a 36 to 38 type minute team, and we've pulled through in a lot of games. But in order for us to be really good teams consistently, we got to be closer to 48 minutes. So, the Wizards, they got some prideful guys. Russell Westbrook has pride. Bradley Beal has pride. And they're going to come out and try to – it's never easy to beat a team twice. Never easy. So, can we do it? Yes. Should we do it? We're not entitled to anything, but we're at home, so we got to protect home. And I do like the fact that we have Mitch back. It was really – I'll say that. Thank goodness. Noel was terrific, but let's be real. He can't give us, and there's certain losses that Mitch can get, that one putback dunk that Noel can't get. So I feel good, man. But like you said, City, we can't take any game lightly.
Nope, we really can't. I agree with you guys, man. I think we can't underestimate these teams. Even Timberwolves, man. I think that, I don't know if they're tanking. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm sure they can turn it up if they want to turn it up. They really could, man. I saw the Cleveland Cavaliers. They went out and they beat the Brooklyn Nets in early in the season. So with James Harden, I think they had James Harden at that time too. But yeah, man, you can't. Right now, every game, every win, I'm happy with every win we got. But but I can't start underestimating these teams now. These teams are good too. So,
and I'll leave you with this because I gotta bounce. But this Tibbs quote is my favorite quote of the year. He said this after a Magic game, like a couple months back. Somebody asked him, "Do you like the fact that this was a low-scoring game that you found a way to win?" And he said this. And it's on my Twitter page. If you follow me on Twitter, SpreeWellFan8. I posted the video. I love winning. I don't care if it's high scoring, medium scoring, low scoring. I just want to win. And that's what we got to do tomorrow night. You guys have a good night. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Peace.
All right, salute, brother.
Salute.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta love it. You gotta love the fact that we're competing. I think that's the one thing where I looked at, even with this season, where I said I didn't care about projection as far as numbers goes and wins and losses. I just wanted to see continued improvement, and I could take a game at a time. I could take the going from 21 to 24 wins. I could take the 21 going to 28 wins. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to see a level of progression. So that way we wasn't looking like the stagnant team, basically looking like what Minnesota is. Minnesota continues to be a lottery team no matter what talent they get. And it's not like we're saying that those guys are bad. Karl Anthony Towns was one of the most sought after guys in the lottery. You know what I mean? Andrew Wiggins, for all intents and purposes, was the most hyped, which made him the most sought after. He wasn't even the best player on Kansas. Embiid was, but who got the most coverage was Andrew Wiggins. Coming into the season, before we even got to the point of drafting, we was looking at, oh man, if we had Anthony Edwards on our team, wasn't that a lot of the conversation amongst other Knicks fans?
I mean, at that time, I think at that time, Phil Jackson took over, and he got a couple of second-round picks, and we drafted Anthony early, Thanasis Antetokounmpo. Like, I think we were just transitioning to, like, tanking. We were like, what the hell is going on? Are we tanking or something? How come we only got 20-something wins with Carmelo Anthony? Like, it wasn't making sense yet.
Yeah, I feel you on that. At the end of the day, I just feel like, when it comes down to it, we're a better team than we were last year. And I think that's the biggest thing. But you know what frustrates me? I was watching the Milwaukee and Boston game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at how good Bobby Portis was defensively. And I was like, where was that last season when we had you, homeboy?
Mm-hmm.
He's not,
talk about frustration when you see guys that progress right after they walk out of our door, and it's not a matter of, oh well, the coach was holding you back. No, he wasn't. That's defense.
People were defending. There were some people at the end that they were defending Bobby Portis because he was catching so much heat. But again, man, that shows you look at good coaching, man. Good coaching. He got a. Anyways, we had too many. You know what the situation was with Bobby Portis was his contract, his $15 million contract. Too many power forwards that season. Marcus Morris, Julius Randle, Bobby Portis, and Taj Gibson. So it was like it was just like one after another, and then another, and then another. It's like and then his contract it didn't, even I got blinded. So, we ended up keeping up. We ended up keeping Julius, and Julius ended up passing the ball more than just as much and as often as Draymond Green.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you that's another thing that frustrates me too. How good Julius is this year as opposed to last year, right? And how, because I won't even say guilty of it. I always say, if anything, Julius Randle owes me an apology for being this good and showcasing otherwise last season. You know what I mean? But overall, it's just like to see this level of, progression, pace, and just like you said, I think overall it was coaching, but the front office has to be absolutely 100% culpable of that, because at the end of the day, this was your hire. Tibbs was a candidate the last time we was looking for a head coach. You know what I mean? And you went with the guy that you felt was going to help us put more fans in the seat, because you thought that he was going to be the guy to get more players, more star players on his squad, especially when you get a cosign from players like LeBron and Dwayne Wade, who are basically bona fide Hall of Famers once it's their time.
I think that's why. I think that's why he got let go. I think it had a lot to do with the coaching. I think that's why he got let go. Some people could say that maybe it was a Porzingis trade, but even now you could say, look, they brought in, Steve Mills did bring in Julius Randle, and he got 2 first-round picks and Dennis Smith Jr., which ended up being Derrick Rose, right?
Yeah.
He basically, so he if we didn't get Dennis Smith Jr., we wouldn't have Derrick Rose. So,
you know what else though?
Mm.
If Steve Mills was on his P's and Q's, we could have had Mikal Bridges instead of Kevin Knox. And Mikal Bridges is productive for the Phoenix Suns while we're still trying to give Knox minutes. You know what I mean? Bonafide starter, and you got a project on your hands. And I think the problem with me when it came down to that is Mikal Bridges is a proven winner.
Mm-hmm.
2 titles in Villanova in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
You don't overlook stuff like that. He was projected to be basically the great value version of Kawhi Leonard. You don't pass on players like that. And yeah, I'm sure everybody's going to sit there and throw the whole rebuttal of, well, other teams pass on them. But I'm not a fan of other teams. And I'm also looking at the fact that our need was at small forward. And it's funny how we're still kind of in that position of needing a starting caliber small forward. And here was one right on the board in our face, wanting to be a Knick in certain interviews, and we pass on them for Kevin Knox. And I think that's really why Kevin Knox is so disliked. Not because we don't believe or we don't feel like he has the potential to be. You think about all these people now who are Obi haters. And I'm not sitting here saying like, they're wrong for their criticism, but the first thing they'll look at is we could have drafted X and O player, Tyrese Halliburton, Tyrese Maxey, all these other guys that, we was all looking on the board for. Oh, we could have moved up in the draft to get LaMelo. All these guys that we could have been looking for.
The Knicks ain't getting on LaMelo. Those guys who had a chance to get him, but to your Kevin Knox take, right? I remember because those seasons we were tanking, and I remember listening to John Calipari a lot, and John Calipari said something like, "It's going to take 2 or 3 years." I mean, I don't know if you listened to John Calipari this year. John Calipari spoke about the Knicks. Did you guys watch that when he was in the podium?
Oh, when they drafted Knox, and he was like he needed a few years to.
Right, and then when we got quickly, he said, "You guys got a good one." He spoke about Knox, and he was like, "What did I tell you guys? Knox is going to take a few years. What did I tell you guys? You have to be patient." Did you see that? It was like week 1. It was in the first week of the NBA game, so it's after preseason. But he spoke about, and I think that was the whole situation with Knox. Like he was telling us, "Yo, we got to be patient with Knox. It's gonna take him a few years." So I think the front office, who trust John Calipari.
Yeah, can we say this? Can we say this? All right, y'all do know there is a guy that's usually here, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not here right now, named Hoodie Cap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all do know we've been talking about Kevin Knox for 2 nights.
I'm not trying
to Kev voice. Kevin Knox for for 2 nights.
I'm just gonna kill us. I'm gonna keep it short.
He's gonna kill us. He. If I wake up tomorrow and I see a rose on my door, or I see a bowl of kicks at my door, then I know Hoodie Kev was coming for me. So
bro,
let's not.
He's to come out and say,
here's the thing. With you, City, on this one. But at the end of the day, but Delano Steele's talking about he wished. I mean, at that time, I really liked SGA and I really liked Jared Vanderbilt because we had a second round pick, and I also liked Hamidou Diallo. So I'm like, man, and at that time, I really liked getting a Kentucky player. Like, oh man, SGA, let me get SGA. Oh man, who's that? Hamidou Diallo. Oh man, Hamidou Diallo, he got hops. I like it. He dunked it. I think he dunked it on somebody in college. I'm like, oh man, he's gonna be good, man. I want somebody like him. So at that time, I remember being hyped about SG. I'm like, man, somebody, because Tankathon, 2017, 18, and 19, it was all about watching Tankathon and who the Knicks were going to draft. So I'm glad we're past it. Now it's about winning games, and I'm glad we're moving forward, man. And you got some people still left behind, man. Some people are still like, we need to continue tanking, man. We need another tank year. And I'm like, nah, I'm good with that, man. I like this culture, and I like that we're winning games. So
yeah, part of itself too, because I didn't mean to bring in Knox. What I wanted to do was just touch on the Obi situation, right? And just kind of talk about why I felt like he needed the opportunity to grow, because I keep hearing the same old about, well, he's a rookie that was in the school system, in the NCAA for 4 years. Okay, and the reason I brought up Mikal Bridges was because he was in the same exact boat. He was supposed to be NBA ready, right? Because of the fact that he spent 4 years at Villanova and twice won a championship. But if you look at his level of playing and his progression over the the past couple of years, he's improved, but he started out at the bottom too. You know what I'm saying? He was a single digit average scorer, the same way I'm looking at Obi Toppin. And if you want to go by position, the next person I'd look at to compare him to is maybe somebody like Aaron Gordon, who came in 4th pick in the 2014 draft to Orlando and only averaged 5.2 points a game, 2.7 rebounds in 17 minutes. 17 minutes. That's more minutes than Obi plays, and he's averaging exactly what Obi averages. And yet you see the level of patience that Orlando had to say, let's stay the course. And now look at him. He's doubling that. He's an impact player for Orlando, where they've been able to get to the playoffs these past 2 seasons. So he's not just one of those guys that happen to ride the bench or nothing like that. He's production. So what I'm saying to a lot of these fans is, as much as you wanted Obi to be an impact player the moment he stepped on the court, give the kid time, because he's still a kid. There's a difference between going against the college players and going against pros, no matter who you played against. And I always liken it to this. City, I don't know how old you are, but let's just say, for the sake of argument, let's say you somewhere in your 20s, right? And let's say, okay, Freezy decides, let's say you're going to college, whatever prestige university, and Freezy decides he wants to go in there and get his degree as well, right? And he's at 50 years old. Does that stop y'all from being the same level of student coming in there if y'all both are starting from the bottom?
It shouldn't.
Exactly. So that's why I
Like, you
keep
know what I'm
telling
saying?
people, stop being so quick to want to see these guys progress to become the next superstar level player because that's what you want on your timeline. I always express, be patient. These guys come in and we expect them to be something bigger than what they are. We got the benefit of an Emmanuel quickly, but not everybody's gonna be quickly. Just like everybody we draft ain't gonna be Obi Toppin. So y'all just gotta relax and let these guys progress because at some point they're going to improve. They're gonna look bad in
Right.
their first season because they're rookies. You still gotta adjust.
Also,
Imagine how good as good as Emmanuel quickly is right now. Imagine in next 1 year, 2 years later, and he's doing more. You got to give them time. Don't be so quick to write them off because you don't like that they're not producing what you want them to produce. You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
saying, yo. Like, it's like what, like that's what I'm saying. Like, what standards are we holding these guys to?
here's my thing. If I can make a quick take, you know,
Mm-hmm.
about Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon is a really good defender, man. So I gotta give credit to Aaron Gordon. But see, if you guys go to Obi Toppin and you go and you look at his draft profile, like what the scouts are talking about, how's he going to translate to the NBA? They're telling you he's not. They're telling you up front he's not going to be a good perimeter defender. He's going to struggle against quicker forwards, right? So they're telling you he's not going to be a good defender. So that's already a problem for Tibbs because if you're Tibbs, you know that's a situation already. So I don't think he's going to be a great defender, and I think and I understand why Tibbs yanks him. He does
But
have.
we have to ask this question. And I didn't mean to cut you off, bro. I'm sorry.
No.
But we have to ask this question. Can he become a good defender? Does he have the tools, right? Does he have the tools and the potential to be able to become a great defender?
Tell you what, is it okay if I read you guys the draft profile for him? You think we can make progress, or you think it'll be just a lot of talking?
No, go ahead, read it, bro.
I'm gonna read it so that way we can actually improve the Obi Toppin conversation, which I think is like, I'm like, why the big deal? But okay, so comparison to Kenya Martin and Sean Marion. We're gonna start off with the strengths, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Toppin is late blooming front court prospect who seemingly come out of nowhere after a redshirt season. Hold on. An A10 has decent size.
What did it say?
Has a decent size for a power forward prospect at 6'9", a 7'2" wingspan, and around 230 pounds. Okay, there we go. Shows very good run and jump athleticism. Okay. And above the rim highlight machine. Toppin is consistent finisher at the rim and looks to finish with authority much more often than not. Even through contact, led the NCAA in dunks this season, and many of them were put back variety due to a quick second jump. So he has a quick second jump and a high energy. His experience playing the 5 for Dame gives him positional versatility. Okay, as he has the ability to operate on the low post, mid range, and even step out to the 3-point line and be effective, making him fit seamlessly as a 6'9" 4-man in the current NBA. Okay, his shooting fundamentals are a plus as he shoots with consistent mechanics and the high release point, making him a potential floor spacing option. Showed the ability to create offense from the perimeter, hitting both catch and shoot, but also creating some pull-ups. His 30%, his 39% from 3-point shoot from 3-point shows what a prolific shooter he has become. The fact that he shot a great clip on a high usage rate gives him the ability to score at a next level. A lot of to score at the next level, a lot of intrigue. Can be an effective as role man or spot up shooter in the picking game, making him a formidable matchup. Moves well without the ball and shows natural instincts. Quite efficient and makes smart decisions on the court. Unselfish player and has good passing ability. As his near even assist to turnover ratio from a forward attests. Solid as a defender at the college level in each of his 2 seasons. Pretty good fundamentals and IQ on that end, and gives good focus and consistency. His considerable improvements each year suggest a player with smarts and work ethic necessary to find the way to succeed, thrive at the next level. Handled not catching teams by surprise and having the attention on him very well this season. Proving this RFR season? I don't know what that means. Was not a fluke. Oh, red flag? I don't know. Anyway, was not a fluke and just the tip of the iceberg. Despite being
red shirt freshman.
Yes, thank you. Despite being older, shows potential to develop his offensive game further, having shown a great deal of improvement in the past year. Has one of the highest floors of any player available in this year's draft. A coachable, team-oriented guy. Shows very good leadership and maturity and figures to make an excellent teammate at the next level. That's just strengths. I need a break to get you to weakness. I need to catch my breath. But that's the strengths. What I feel like that's
Chang in the building. What's good, Chris Chang?
What you guys thought about the strengths?
Well, that's exactly what we saw in college. That's what we saw. What made us look at him and say, yeah, he could definitely be the guy that replaces Julius after what we saw Julius do last season. I think that's why everybody was excited about the prospect initially. And once you got Tibbs in and you heard that Toppin was willing to become a better defender because he already knew that was a part of his game that was questionable. It's like he does and says all the right things. It makes you excited for somebody like this guy. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? He's a prospect that we can really believe in. You know what I mean? And he's a hard worker, which is one of the biggest things for me. Where I immediately said, yeah, let me, let's take a gamble on him.
So should I go with the weaknesses, or you guys want to talk before I go to weaknesses? Anybody want to say anything?
Nah, I don't know, man, about weaknesses and all that. Man.
I want to see
what do y'all feel like? Y'all feel like his weaknesses are apparent? Like, do you need to?
No,
I feel like we see his weaknesses right now.
All right, what I mean to say, the reason I want to say is because it's already been said in the draft profile. So I'm like, why are we shocked by that situation about his weaknesses? Like, we know what we had. Oh, but we were expecting him to be ready. And this, that, and that. I'm like, it's told you in the weaknesses that this is what he is. Why are we shocked about his weaknesses? That's what.
Well, listen. They said what did they say on that? That he had a good second jump and good putback and all of that stuff like that. I would say this, and I'm not trying to harp on him, man. Not trying to whatever. But what I'm saying is, I have not seen him do a putback this year.
Good point. And that's one thing that
at least a putback dunk. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Where, like, the putback dunks that I'm talking about, where you see like a guy miss a shot and it hits clang, clang, and a guy comes in and just yams it on somebody or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? I haven't seen that yet from him.
Right. That's a good point, City.
So if he's if he has that in his arsenal, we need to see it crash the boards, Obi. Come on. Don't make me use. Come on. I could do the Freezy voice. I almost got the Kev voice. Don't let me get my Tibbs voice and start being like, oh, man, crash. Like, don't make me do it.
You know who used to have good putbacks? I got to give credit, Kristaps Porzingis. Porzingis in his rookie year, he yamped it out on LaMarcus Aldridge. He was banging it on everybody. Like, who else? Who is this guy? So I give credit. That's a good. So you guys saying no to weaknesses. You don't want to hear about what they said about Obi's weaknesses, right? Y'all want to hear it? Or y'all don't want to hear?
No, not really. Hey, so let me read.
What about overall?
Let me read City super chat real quick. So City said, shout out to all rocking with us and watching, to everybody that's gonna watch chat. Keep this thing lit.
Keep it fire. Let's go. Y'all down there in the chat, y'all already know what it is, man. Y'all know when I get on here, man, I do that thing that y'all like. You know what I'm saying? I do my best Uncle Freezy impersonation. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I do it. But somehow I mustered it up from the bottom of the belly and it came through. So let's go.
No doubt. No doubt.
So my whole thing is I don't want to overhype Obi and I don't want to bring him too down. I'm just trying to call it. We just trying to call it for what we want to be objective. But I'm like, why? When I read this, I'm like, yo, my man, why is every time people? I mean, I get it, people. He's been somewhat of a disappointment, but like, I read the draft profile. I'm like, oh yeah, I know what we got. Yeah, they pretty much called it right at the draft profile. Why is everybody shocked about this situation with Obi? Because if you look at his weaknesses, it tells you he's probably not going to be he struggles with the perimeter as a perimeter defender. And I don't want to.
So were they saying he was supposed to be? Were they saying he was supposed to be like a legit like perimeter defender?
No, it's that he's gonna struggle. I mean, like he said.
Okay. No. Okay, so that's right. That's spot on. Because I was gonna say, he get lost in the sauce on the perimeter, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Anybody could take him off the dribble.
Let me read it right before, because I don't like to.
Right, but what? Hey, but listen, what elite big thrives in perimeter defense? They don't. That's why teams run the pick and roll. Right. That's what I'm saying. So the thing about Obi perimeter defense is the point to it is whack. Because that's the reason why teams run pick and roll, so they can switch up and get a big to play perimeter defense. You know what I'm saying? And get a small to play interior defense. The reason why they run the switches. So the fact that Obi is not a good perimeter defender is not breaking news. Is business as usual for cats his size. For 6'9" power forwards.
I agree with you, Freezer, but I feel like people bring up regular news and they talk about it as if it's new news. Like I'm like, yeah, my man, everything's been said. Like, he's not much of a what does it say right here? He's not much of a threat. He's currently not much off the dribble. It's a surprisingly mediocre rebounder, and his lateral quickness is somewhat questionable for a four-man, but he is hard working. I'm like, somebody, I could say that, right? If I didn't read that, I could say the same thing, and people were like, "Oh wow, he's giving us new information about Obi," and I'm like, oh, man, this is basic information, and we need to stop comparing him to Amari Stoudemire. We need to stop comparing him to finished products. We need to stop, bro. This is a project, and yeah, like.
Yeah, sometimes that's the only thing that sucks about rookies.
And Amari Stoudemire, are we kidding? Amari Stoudemire's defense overall was terrible when he was young. Dude was terrible. If he had played anywhere else aside from Phoenix, who didn't care about defense, people would have talked about it more. But Amari's defense was terrible, bro. I mean, it was crazy.
Wasn't he considered one time one of the worst pick and roll defensive players? Back in the day, like, you know what I'm saying? Like back in the day when he first got in.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too.
But I think, also you got to look at too the type of players he was playing against. We talking about the time when he was up against the likes of a Chris Webber, Kevin Garnett, Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole gamut of the West had, you know what I'm saying, probably the best power forwards in the game at a point. You know what I mean? So, it's kind of hard to judge immediately and say, oh, well, he's just a bad defender. I mean, these guys are world-class scorers and franchise players. So it could just be, you know what I'm saying, it looked bad compared to those guys. You know what I mean? Because it did improve at some point, but it didn't really improve as much as we, you know what I'm saying, some people would have liked. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just adding the caveat, you know what I'm saying? Just a rebuttal to it, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I mean, it was bad either way. But, again, these guys can improve. That's what the off season is for, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, there was a time where people said that Julius Randle can't improve defensively, and he can't improve at all. He is what he is. I was dealing with that too, so I think Obi could improve too, man. I mean, I don't know how much because I actually, when the draft, when it comes to stuff like that, I kind of trust it a little more now. But
Hey Raf, do me a favor. When you get a chance to talk with Randall later, please tell him to close that on the defenders. Tired of him leaving these guys open for these open threes and they knock them down and make them look bad. And we got to have somebody switch over to defend. Help me
I see
help
what
him.
I can do, man. He's been a busy guy, man. He's been a very busy guy.
All right.
Yo, can I say this real quick? Just because we didn't get a chance to see Hoodie Cab tonight, so I am hoping Hoodie Cab got one of those jobs that he was like, you know what I'm saying, that he was going out to get. So I just wanted to say shout out to him. Hopefully he got one of those.
Oh yeah,
one of those things, like, you know what I'm saying, whatever. So, like, just wanted to say that.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
Just want to say this to Hoodie Cav too, that Hoodie Cav, the chat was busting all night without the Knocks at Night podcast. Because and that's an inside joke between me and Hoodie Cav. Hoodie Cav was like, "Yo, every time I talk about Knocks, the chat go up to like 400 people," and I'm like, "No, not really, not really." So, but shout out to Hoodie Cav though.
Yeah, for sure. I miss my nemesis.
Hey, quick question. Hey, with this situation with the the trade and all that stuff, who's the one person that you would like personally to go ahead and get traded to the Knicks?
For who? A trade?
Yeah, the trade deadline coming up. So, who's the one person that you would like to?
The one person that I would much like to see is a type of player and not an individual. I would like a Kelly Oubre type player. If we get a small forward that's big enough and athletic enough to guard shooting guards, small forwards, and power forwards, I think that is what will really set us on it. Because I don't think we can get the 3 seed in the East, but I definitely think we can get the 4 seed in the East if we get consistent wing play, like a lockdown defender, somebody that prevents scorers from getting. Well, like y'all remember that Orlando game we lost to Orlando when Terrence Ross went off for us for 30. Remember that the game in Orlando, the Sunday game.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, Terrence Ross went off on us for 30 points, right? And so it was a clear fact that we didn't have an athlete that could guard Terrence Ross. If we can get us a Kelly or somebody like that can guard those guys, and not saying that he would have stopped us from getting 30, but maybe held them to 20, I think we'd have still won that game.
So a Kelly Oubre.
But I saw you
A
on
player
Twitter.
like that. A player like that.
Freezy, I followed you on Twitter, and you had other people in mind. You guys hear me?
Yeah, I remember I mentioned Robert Covington. Yeah, I remember I mentioned Robert Covington.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about the tweet I put out there earlier, talking about my trade deadline wish list?
Mm-hmm.
That maybe get us a DJ Augustine and maybe a Robert Covington. I think that'd be awesome for me.
What about what you said? You also mentioned Melo. What do you feel about Melo still?
Yeah, that'll be icing on the cake for me.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a must have, but if it happens, it'll be like a birthday present or something.
Okay. I mean, I didn't put it on the list. That was you. I was just trying to ask you what's up with that.
So hey, Ralph Sidney, same question. Is there any player in particular that you would like to see traded to the Knicks tomorrow?
Let me check. It's hard, man, because we got such a good team chemistry, and I definitely would want Reggie Bullock to be coming off the bench. Like I totally agree with Kevin Wright that Reggie Bullock should be coming off the bench like that. You know, so we got Derrick Rose. I'm happy with that. I mean, I wanted Will Barton. I think I wanted Will Barton, and I would be happy with like a Will Barton and a Thomas Satoransky. Like I wouldn't mind having those two. I think those are two players. I mean, they're just good role players, but like, you know, with this team, you know, I don't want to play around too much because RJ and Julius Randle are leaders, and so I don't want to add somebody who could possibly affect.
Throw a monkey wrench in a tire.
That's why people. Did anybody read the article about Andre Drummond? Like the reason they don't want Andre Drummond. Some people in the Knicks organization don't want Andre Drummond because supposedly it could affect the team chemistry. Did you guys read that? That's why it makes it difficult for me to create a scenario to bring another player.
I didn't read it.
Yeah, I think it was Bleacher Report. Could have been Bleacher Report or Hoops Hype. I think it was Hoops Hype. And I totally get it. Like if I'm in the front office, like it has to be the right player. But I'm just a fan of. I think Will Barton could be a good fit. Let me check who else.
What's Will Barton's stat skill like though? I ain't never really checked on him. Like
and for everybody. Yeah, and for the chat, y'all put your ideas out there so we can talk about what y'all talking about. I think so. For one, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if you listen and you haven't, and make sure you smash the like button, man, and join the virtual chat and the video chat, and comment on these videos on the replay so that we can get a feel for what y'all want to talk about too. We do this thing for y'all. So put your comments out there, man, so we can read them, and then in that way, we can talk about what it is that y'all want to talk about.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, though. Like, that Eric Bledsoe in the first-round pick for this team, supposedly, so check this out. So, supposedly, they would.
Hey, God of Moses and Elijah, what type of first-round pick, though? Is it a future first or first edition?
I think it's future first. I don't know which first it is. It's just, I mean, Hoops Hype says a first round pick. If you take Eric Bledsoe from our hands right now, we'll give you a first. That's all I know. Once I heard that, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, we want.
He's better than anybody now.
We want an attractive first, though.
What was that?
We would love to get an attractive first, though, right? An attractive first, not just cachet first like the Celtics get, like not just a random 28th pick. We don't want to get that for Eric Bledsoe.
No, I can't.
We'd love to get something Yeah, we need to get something current and like in the teens.
Right, I agree.
I would do it for the 15th pick in the draft this year.
I agree. Well, listen. I'll do it just for between 10 through 19. If I could get from 11 through 19, a pick from there, I'll do it. I'll strongly consider doing it. But the thing is that this guy has 2 more years left. After this season is done, he has 2 more years. But the thing is, he's also a Kentucky guy. So maybe, it begs the question: Can Johnny Bryant help his game? Can Kenny Payne help his game? He'd probably be better than Alfred Payne.
Now here's the other question that y'all always allude away from. So I'm gonna put it out there. Who are you giving up to get these guys?
For Eric Bledsoe, take Austin Rivers.
Okay.
Austin Rivers, give me a first, and then I have 2 first-round picks this year, and maybe I have 2 first-round picks in 2022. And and then I have 2 picks in 2023. So that leaves the front office. I mean, some people are skeptical. I know people are carrying the Obi pick, but that front office, that gives them a lot of wiggle room to say, you know what, here's another 2 guys. We hit one because it's a gamble, it's a crap shot with the draft, and that's how it goes. Sometimes they could be a good player, maybe not a good fit, maybe he's not in the right. So many things have to go right. So I kind of like the whole idea of having two first-round picks for the next 3 years while also competing in the playoffs. So I like that. So we got a veteran who I expect to be one of the better guards in our roster. And if it doesn't work out, we'll trade him with next year's trade deadline. Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm.
Now, quick question to, put it in perspective. You wouldn't try to persuade Elfrid Payton to waive in his trade clause so that way you could get Eric Bledsoe, because you're basically trading one guy that plays identical to the other guy. Eric Bledsoe plays about the same way Elfrid Payton.
Nah, man, he ain't trying to go back to New Orleans. Elfrid Payton ain't trying to go back to New Orleans, though.
Yeah, you already know that.
He might not want to go, but at the end of the day, do you make a trade for a player that plays identical to the same guy on your roster already?
You think he don't want to play? Hold on, let me ask Freezy that. You don't think he wants to play with Zion?
Nah, I think he wants to be on a contender.
That's Zion. Now you got Zion. That's a different animal. You got to think.
No, I think he wants to be on. I would tell you this: Elfrid Payton's been in the league for a long time. He wants to be. If he goes anywhere, he wants to be on a contender. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't he be? Because right now, he's on a team that's possibly making the playoffs. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Why would you go and just looking at the records right now, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't remember their record. I will have to look it up, but at the end of the day, they don't look like they're gonna be. They look like they're gonna be fighting for the play-in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Why would you diminish your status and go from a team that's possibly going to be in there, like, you know what I'm saying, to go to a team that might not be in there?
You know what? I thought Milwaukee would be a good fit for Alfred. I mean, as just a thought.
Right. Go, man. That's my guy, the Alpha Wall Street, man.
I mean, first and Eric Bledsoe.
Listen, man, I like the guy because I gave him a cool name. I gave him the name, the Alpha Wall Street. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
That's not a bad name, but
yeah, I gave him a nickname too.
You give me a first. You give me a first and Eric Bledsoe. I gotta think about
Hold
that.
on, let's hear Delano's nickname. I want to hear it.
Oh, you mean hold this Alfred Payton? Nah, you don't hear that from me. In all honesty though, for real. Alfred Payton, I feel like again, the only reason I'm even entertaining the idea of the Bledsoe situation, right, is because of the draft pick. But I also feel like getting him, where does he fit? Because he's by far solely going to play the point guard position. You can't put him nowhere else, right?
Right.
But whose minutes do you take away if you bring him in, or who do you cut into his minutes for? Because if you keep Alfred Payton and you still have Eric Bledsoe, and you still have Derrick Rose, now you bring in Eric Bledsoe. Where's the sense and sensibility in that pick? You know what I'm saying? In that trade, because now those guys might be leaving, but you still look at that. Okay, well, let's resign Derrick Rose. Keep him on board, and then we still want to feature IQ as much as we possibly can. And there's no telling what the situation is with Frank. Frank is one of those guys that kind of plays that tweener role. We don't see him as a point guard full time, but he does play the position. So the question now becomes, what do we do with Eric Bledsoe? He's on the roster now, so I mean, do we use him as trade bait for the next guy coming in, or do we try to feature him as well? And how do we feature him? You know what I'm saying? So that is where, for me, again, you have to look at what is the move that helps us going forward. You know what I'm saying? 2 years is still going to be 2 years. And some of these guys are gone next year. Like, again, and, Alfred Payton will be a goner. Derrick Rose will be a goner. But again, if you like him, you might want to re-sign him. So what do you do? You know what I mean? That's the question.
That's why I think right now I feel like in a way, and I hate to repeat myself, but we improve with the draft pick, and we improve with a better veteran, Eric Bledsoe. But we have to move Alfred Payton with that trade. We help them out, and then we find out we ship Alfred Payton to somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah, man. Yo, listen, Freezy. We gotta talk like this at the same time. No, but yeah,
I feel you, bro. I feel you.
Yeah, we gotta do it. But anyways, one of these days, man, you gotta get me up there, man. You gotta get me up there on the on the morning drive, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I thought you didn't want to get traded.
No, I'm just saying. I just want to make an appearance. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to get traded. I'm not leaving the Knicks at night podcast. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Come on, man. We got some of the best. We got Hoodie Kev. What?
Yeah, I'm saying though, man.
I'm saying you said that I ain't had to choose. Now you asking City to choose. It sounds like that to me.
Oh no. Listen. This is why I said I want to make an appearance. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not about choosing. It's all love in between us guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? We doing what we do. Like, come on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to make an appearance on the morning drive just to be like, yo, I made an appearance on the morning drive just because I'm always here at the Knicks at Night podcast. I just want to make an appearance.
Hey, listen.
And I'll start the show for you, Freezy.
It was dope.
I'll start the show for you, Freezy. I'll be like, yo.
What's
good? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Come on, I'll bring that energy, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
The Knicks at Night podcast is my baby. You know what I'm saying? It's my baby, man. You know what I'm saying? The KMD, I'm still trying to get used to it, trying to find my way with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Yo, and
I will bring that energy though.
Yo, and for the chat and for everybody, I did get that thing, though. I did get that thing, and I'm happy about it. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, I got it right here. I got it right here. If y'all can see it, I'll get a little closer.
I see it. That's fire.
Yeah, I did
I
get
see
that
it.
thing.
That's
Like,
all.
you know what I'm saying? I jumped on that as soon as it was on the rack. Like, you know what I'm saying? I jumped on it. Like, yo, I
Said he
was like,
got it
yeah.
like Freezy got that kiss from that girl in as a 12-year-old.
When he walked on water.
Yo, you heard that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, that
come
was a
on,
dope
man.
You
You
heard
know
story.
I
that? Y'all
was
heard that?
listening,
That was a
bro.
dope story.
You know I was listening.
You know what? You know what I don't like though? I'm gonna keep it real with you, Unc. I don't hear you sharing none of those stories on Knicks at Night. You have the dopest stories, but it seemed like all those stories be for the morning drive.
And you know what else, too? You know what
I'm
else,
poking
too?
the bear.
You
I'm
know
I'm
what
I'm
else,
causing
too?
ruckus.
Yo, you know
Oh,
what
that's
else, too,
mad.
Delano?
That's mad
He
low.
don't even
That
give
was
us the
mad low.
outro. He don't even give us the outro. Look
You don't get
at my
no
uniform
intro,
right
no
now,
outro.
Freeze. Can we get the outro tonight?
Wow.
Can we get the outro tonight? When we
For sure.
flatline, can we get the outro tonight? That's what I'm saying.
Yo, so at 3:30, I'll make sure I play it.
Let's get it.
If that's good for y'all. 3:30, I'll make sure I do it.
I might be heading out
Of
10
course.
minutes. 10 minutes.
God's like, yo,
I got 10 minutes for you. That's it, man. But not for nothing, but I did have a hunch that Obi might get traded. I know I've been talking about Obi a lot today, but when they interviewed Julius Randle and he's talking to Obi Toppin, when he's talking to Obi Toppin and he's talking about keeping his confidence up, that this is a process and it's a long process. That made me think. I'm like, people keep talking about Frank, but I'm like, if somebody is getting moved, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Obi, man. I would not be surprised, man. And I think he's gonna be all right. I think he's gonna pan out. I just, when I read his draft profile, I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, he's not a Tibbs guy at all.
Well, yo, Freezy, you think Obi's out of here too? Or is Freezy's
No. Dude is a keeper. Yeah, I just think he's just think of this as a red shirt. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, end of the day, we all speculating, but we don't know. And I mean, end of the day, as good as we are right now, I think the question that the front office is posed with is, do we want to make any moves as we're currently constructed? Because everybody has improved. I mean, Reggie Bullock's numbers have improved, even though I know Kev is a huge fan of Reggie Bullock and all that, and would have hate to see him go.
Wait a minute. Did you say Kev and Reggie Bullock in the same breath?
Yeah, because he's not here, and
Yeah.
he won't be able to cut me off from making the point of Reggie Bullock is actually an improved player. I was one of those guys that wanted Reggie Bullock gone too.
Yeah.
But he's improved to the point where it's difficult to say that now.
He would be a good backup. He's a good backup. But last season, remember Wayne Ellington and Reggie Bullock?
No, I'm gonna be real. The only reason I didn't like that was because I felt like you were cutting into Alonzo Trier and Damian Dotson, and I felt like if you're gonna give those guys a fair opportunity and they failed, that'd be fine. But you didn't. You know what I'm saying? You gave Alonzo Trier carte blanche in his rookie season, and then that was it. Like you didn't see him again after that, unless he was down by like maybe 18 points, and he comes in, gives you 10 points in 10 minutes, and then that's it.
Right.
And then here you can, you bringing in another guy, and you're taking away minutes from Damian Dotson, who was playing well after you traded Tim Hardaway Jr., Kristaps Porzingis, and Courtney Lee over to Dallas. He goes to averaging double figures in the closing months, and then you reward him by saying, "We got your replacement right here."
Right.
How
Yo,
cool
shout out to you guys, man. Yo, shout out to you guys. Thanks for still rocking with us because we still here. Y'all still here. We here because y'all still here. You know what I'm saying? Like we doing it for everybody, man. We doing it for all Knicks fans, everybody that's out here, everybody that wants Knicks content. We still here. We still in the building. Let's go. Let's go, man. Like we here, man. We got the Knicks Tonight podcast going, man. Like get those likes up, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? If y'all haven't done it already, you already know what to do. You know what the thumbs up button mean. Just hit it. Do it. Just because you like it. And because you want to do it. And because you here and you watching. And there's a reason why you here and you watching. I don't even have to say it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it going, man. Let's get it going. Let's get it going.
Just to make it real quick though, supposedly, if the Knicks want Lonzo, Eric Bledsoe has to be in the deal. Either we take the Pelicans first, or we take Lonzo Ball. I think that's how it's going down.
So we talking about a 3-team deal?
That's what they're trying to do. That's what the Knicks are trying to do. The Knicks, according to Clutch Points, the Knicks are trying to do a 3-team deal where somebody receives Eric Bledsoe and the Knicks get Lonzo Ball, and they're trying to make a 3-team deal work. But those three-team deal, that's not easy work. Right. But the Pelicans are willing to give you, just so they can get rid of Bledsoe's 3-year contract, they'll give you Lonzo Ball. So, I mean, I would be happy.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, my drink cut out for a minute.
Yeah, I think I hear you good. I would be happy. I would be okay if we get Lonzo Ball or Bledsoe, or Bledsoe in the first, whichever we get. I think I'll be like, you know what? I would say I support you, front office. At least you got Lonzo Ball, or at least you got Bledsoe in the first. At least you got something. So that's my opinion right now. My opinion might change at 3:00 tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Yeah, you never know, man.
Yeah, but hey, listen, I'm about to cut out, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Freezy,
City,
I'm out.
I'm out, guys.
I appreciate y'all.
You out? Yeah, I'm out, guys.
We dropping like flies, man. But guess what? I'm still on fire.
Hold it down, man. Hold it down.
Like Randle at the 3-point line
we
yesterday.
dropping like flies, but I'm still on fire. It's so good, fellas. Salute. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Right. But remember, hey, Freezy, Damian Lillard is still a superstar.
Yes. But yo, what's going on, fellas? What's going on, man? Y'all still in the building. Y'all still rocking. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Let's keep this thing going, man. If y'all want to keep it going, we keep it going, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. We still got the Knicks at Night podcast going. Yes, sir. I guess it's question time because now you're asking me questions. And don't flood it so much that I can't read it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I would not be upset if the Knicks got Drummond for cheap. I would not be upset. Hey, it's the City for Real Night podcast. Not exactly, but I could tell you what it is. It is the Knicks at Night podcast. You already know. Forever Nick Martinez says, City, we need Lonzo and Powell. We need some help. Yes, we do. I agree with you. What help are we going to get? If we get any, I don't know. Nameland City, you should have your own podcast, bro. I got to work on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, man, like, I'm here. I finally found a place where I feel like I'm at home, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? I really feel like, you know what I'm saying? I really feel like I mix well with people and stuff like that here. So, you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nothing to it but to do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, baby. Let's see. Devin Cruz, you think we getting ball or is it going to be a quiet deadline? I have no idea, bro. You know what this regime does? They whisper in quiet humbles. So, you know what I'm saying? There's no leakage. There is no nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's not even a drip coming out of the plumber's tape out of the pipe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Justin L, City for Real, bringing it 1-on-1 now. Taking your refer energy to, or taking your refer energy, just transitioning back to Skip Malou. And Chris Chang says the city is on fire. Let's go, Simma. In the building. Oh, I should have did my Freezy voice when I did the Simma in the building, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yo, we still here, man. Like, you know what I mean? We here, we out here. BKL, I see you. So BKL says, which team do you want to see that Austin Rivers likes to go? I was thinking he's like, or I would say he's saying he likes to go to the Bucks. I have no idea where Austin Rivers wants to land, but wherever he wants to land, hopefully he gets there. We do have that money to send him on his way. I really hope we land ball, man. Devin Cruz. You never know, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? We might find something better, but I don't know. Don't know. Quiet money, I think it's 60-40. Could be. That is a fact. Could be. You never know. Yo, Elvis, I see you, bro. We here. I'm here. We here. Everybody's here. Freezy's here, just hanging out, chilling, relaxing, sitting back, watching. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we are here. So, yo, I'll do it again just for you guys one more time because I might just got to do a couple of things. But anyways, I'll do it one more time before I bounce out of here. Yo, my best Freezy impersonation is going down tonight. Devin Cruz, I see you. What's good? What's really good?
You got me sounding like Jadakiss.
Yo. No, but yo, man, I love it, man. I love it. I love doing it, man. It's fun, man. Like it's fun, and at least the guys in the chat they like it. They like it when I bring it out. So you know what I'm saying? That's pretty cool, man. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being here, man. Like you know what I'm saying? Salute to all you guys. Allah Wise, Chris Chang, Devin Cruz, Robert Parr. Quiet Money, everybody, Delano Steele, everybody that was on the panel, God of Moses, like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody that was on the panel, man, everybody that's in the chat right now that's still hanging and banging. You know what I'm saying? Y'all still hanging and banging. And we here. We doing this thing because we Knicks family, yo. So that's what we like to do.
Word, no doubt, no doubt. Hey, so you want to wrap it up right here, man? And you just call it right here, and you know what I'm saying? Just dip out so we can prepare for that next morning drive.
Yeah, yo, I'll be in the chats on the next morning drive tomorrow, but I ain't gonna be able to jump in. But like, you know what I'm saying? But can you spin that outro one time for the Knicks at Night podcast? Can you spin that outro one time, brother? One time, because I've never been on it. Never been on it when you did the Knicks at Night.
All right, here it is, right here.
I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who be caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena on. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcast it like hey ya. That shit you saying now, we all know ain't make ya. So many nights was me and my notebook, no hook, no look, just me and my devils, but they so shook. Whatever it took, fuck the battle, ready for war. I ain't die, I evolve, living through these memoirs, regardless of the cost. And the gas made it this far with bars that'll last forever, like the wreck yard.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
I see dead people, connect with my sixth sense. Heed no evil, get bread with my six friends. He's no diva, flexing the sick bends. Plex is a teacher, investing in big trends. Scared like a bear, disrupting the bull market. Double down shares, portfolio parking. Dow Jones average, big bank tank sharking. Elevated rank while face stays sparking. Dan John's pace, my grace will sharpen. In the biz since kids, Rosario Dawson. He got game, but he